LBC weather.
Ah, yes. Press on to go. Some late evening sunshine tonight is going to lead to a dry night with lengthy clear spells. It was going to be cold because I brought huge amounts of warm clothing. Temperatures will drop across London. Oh, good. Especially in rural areas where some mist will form. 10 degrees centigrade, that's 50 Fahrenheit. Not as cold as I was expecting. I'm sweating buckets in here on the tube in. Who are Chelsea playing today? I guess I should know that from the previous show. But I've never seen so many police all over the West End. Like apprehending people who come from somewhere revolting like the North. Well, come in here, boy. You. Yes. A fine spell of weather will continue. So what a beautiful day it was today. Who are Chelsea playing today?
Did you call me boy then?
I did, yes.
Abbot. What?
Who are Chelsea playing today?
Aston Villa.
Oh, right. Lots of dreadful people from the North. Well,
the Midlands, anyway. Exactly. Not really the North, the Midlands. It's sort of the Midlands, really. When you think about it.
North of here, if you think about it.
Fair point. Certainly not south, I agree.
Yes, they're all over the place. Why can't they just come and then go?
Go?
Yeah. Instead of staying and enjoying the West End and getting in my way when I'm trying to get it. Did you notice how early I was for the show today?
No, I didn't notice. Oh, you've arrived. You are here.
Yeah, I'm actually here, yeah.
Not for that.
In time.
It's amazing how you did make it within 4 seconds of
4 seconds, yeah, that's right. Like, my head's virtually exploding. I'm behind so many people. And, of course, you get on a tube, because the Northern Line doesn't go all the way to King's Cross, which is where I get out and I have to get a cab. It is going the other way because the tube is screwed, so I have to get out at Euston. And you get on a train at Euston, it comes right up, no problem at all. And then the police descend upon the train and start dragging people out.
Maybe, did they drag you out?
No, and because I'm not Northern. And neither do I look it. Everybody from the North are 7 feet tall. Did you know that? They are. Every single person
you
they were
don't
dragging
look Northern?
No. Every single person that was, well, I'm too well accoutred to be Northern.
In which department?
In every department.
Okay, fine. No, I'm not going to argue, but I don't really give a...
So is that who they were?
Aston Villa. Were they wearing a sort of claret and blue?
No, they weren't. They weren't in team colours, which I thought was which kind of put me off the scent. I thought maybe they're not football people, but they must have been, I suppose, because when in a vast amount of police presence around the King's Cross area, that's football, right?
Yeah, you're right. No, it'd be
unless they were all rent boys. I doubt it.
Would you know what one looks like?
What, an Aston Villa supporter? No, never come across one, as a matter of fact. So anyway, we've got the travel bloke who's standing by. He's probably got to do travel for...
He might be an Aston Villa fan.
Oh, really?
I don't know, but he might be.
Well, we'll check. Tomorrow, 70 degrees, and so on and so forth.
LBC Travel.
He's in fact gone.
Oh, well, he'll have been arrested at King's Cross.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
You're on the other fader. You're on the fader that's labelled news in order to confuse me.
Yeah.
And the news, presumably, is on the fader that's labelled travel.
I'll do the news instead of travel, if you like.
No. Do you know any news?
I know that I'm not an Aston Villa supporter.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Get on with it.
Sorry. M25, 17 to 18. Delays following an accident earlier. A couple of miles of clockwise queues as a result. The cars, though, are on the hard shoulder now. Also, junction 24 to 25, an accident cleared clockwise. Through Ken Junction 3 to 1A, you'll find queuing traffic from the M20 round to Dartford. And the A40 Western Avenue, the roadworks now cleared at Gypsy Corner westbound. The queues from Shepherd's Bush and eastbound the queues from Greenford are starting to ease. They will go back in, though, from 7:30 in the morning. On the Underground, the Central Line has no service between North Acton and Ealing Broadway due to a signal failure. And there are further problems as well on the District Line, which is now running with delays. And Daniel G. at AA Vodafone Road Watch for LBC Travel. It's Nick Abbott and Carol McGiffin. On LBC, the voice of London, and Carol McGiffin, 0171 412 1152.
Volume. So the woman who welches on her deal or bets, and never make a bet with Carol McGiffin. That's the first rule of life. She's not here, but she will be calling us from this week's celebrity C-list wedding. Norman is marrying somebody, and she'll be, if she's still conscious and standing up, she'll be calling us with an update later on. And I did invite, because some people were suggesting that I invite Kev, who used to do a show with me at the other place, but he was being very difficult. As predicted, he's, lost in showbiz and totally up himself. And said that he had to go to Manchester. Somewhere appalling like that. So what you're going to have to do is help me out today, and I'm having seen the audience figures, every single person that's listening to this show is going to have to call, otherwise I'll be talking to myself for the next 4 hours. Here's one in Skegness. Hello.
Hello, Nick.
How you doing?
It's me.
Oh, blimey. The first call would have to be Aid, who can't get laid. Another one of these people who's not actually in our area.
Yeah, well, you should just stamp all over. You should get yourself a bigger licence for the station.
Well, if it was up to me, then I might look into it, but it isn't, so I'm not going to. It's not my department.
What's wrong with phoning somebody that you can't listen to anyway?
Well, the problem with because I think most of the people who listen to this show are listening outside of the London area, which means that our ratings show up as 0.
So don't that still count?
Yeah, 0 is 0 in any language.
Yeah, but don't the internet count? They're still listeners, well, are they, like aliens or something?
Yeah, but they're not. They don't apply to. You don't increase my audience figures. My audience figures for the London area. So, you and the people who call from Scotland and, all of the people that call this show who are not actually in the London area and who are listening to us on their pewters is useless for me because, you look down the list of ratings for this show and it just says 0.
You're quite aerial, then.
Say what?
I can't believe that you're not doing very well for your...
You're cracking up. What is this? One of these newfangled mobile telephones?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm up away to the weekend at Skegness, so...
You're in Skegness?
Yeah.
And what's that like?
A bit cold, but not too bad. It's sunny at the minute, which is amazing, really.
Yeah, who would have thunk it?
Yeah, well, I was actually ringing you about. You ever had a car or anything? Right?
And have I ever bought a car?
You ever had to hire one?
Hire one?
Hire.
Yeah. Yes. I've had to hire a car, yeah.
Does it make you nervous?
Why?
Because it's not yours, you've got this deposit.
No, because you've got insurance that means that you can, scrape your keys up and down it all day long and you won't have to pay a penny. There's no, it doesn't make me nervous in that respect. When I hired a car in Cyprus, it made me nervous because the thing looked like it had been built, before the Second World War and had never been, an engineer had never clapped eyes on it since. That made me nervous because I didn't think I was going to arrive back from the car hire place to my hotel alive. But no, I'm not nervous about wrecking somebody else's car that I'm fully insured to do. What's your problem?
Because if I wrecked, I'd be... Yeah, but Clem's parents would be down the toilet or something,
Yeah, I didn't understand a word you just said.
Clem's parents would be down the toilet then. But you don't really bother about that, you don't...
I thought that you had to specifically insure the car that you were hiring and doesn't, or maybe it comes on, I don't know, I've never owned a car, so I've never had car insurance other than buying one specifically to hire a car.
You don't really need, it's a bit pointless in London, isn't it?
What, having a car?
Yeah.
It's, I'd like one, and I lust after them like they're sexual objects. Not all of them, you understand, like not cars that come from Eastern Europe. I don't lust after those, but cars that, from sexy places like Italy and Britain. But I would never use it. It would be the last thing I would ever use. I'd rather go buy a suit.
Wouldn't you like to sort of use, you only go on abroad holidays, don't you? You don't sort of go on holidays in this country, do you? I've noticed.
Why would anybody want to go on holiday in it? If you can afford to go on holiday somewhere else, why in God's name would you want to go on holiday in this country? Tony Blair runs this country, and he obviously wants to see the back of it as soon as possible. So I'm taking his cue. Well, I don't actually go and, suck up free holidays from other tax-paying ordinary mortals.
That's because you're rich, though, isn't it? It's like, there's up to sort of go in this...
Well, you're cracking up. You get yourself a new phone, all right, Aid? 0171 412 1152. It's Nick Abbott, not Carol McGiffin. She'll be calling in later, if she's still conscious. or, you know, hasn't been bodily thrown out of the party, although that would be a call that I'd like to take. I'd like to hear her bodily being thrown out of the party. Yeah! Here's one in Finchley. Hello.
Good evening, Nick. Hello, how are you?
I'm all right.
Yeah, it's not Elizabeth, it's me.
Good.
Unfortunately, you've just had aid. I'm the guy that does the aid site. What a coincidence.
You're one of these pewter nerds who does one of the... I swear, there's more computer internet sites about me than there are people listening to this show.
Oh, I'm sure that isn't the case.
Would you like me to fax you the numbers?
Well, not quite the net nerd. I haven't reached that coveted position yet, but I'm getting there. Right, I've got news of a new site. Before I come to that, actually, you would like to know that nickabbot.com has been reinstated.
.com.
Yeah.
Now, when you say reinstated, it was last week I had some fantastical story that somebody was trying to look up me on the World Wide Web, and in one of these internet cafes.
Yeah, that was me.
And they would, and they refused. They had barred my site because it was disgusting. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the one. Well, it wasn't disgusting, to be honest, but you'd be pleased to know they reinstated it. Either someone was listening, or they listened to my complaint.
Right, they'll probably listen to your complaint, because, trust me, no one's listening.
Oh, dear. It's not that bad, surely.
It is. It's
anyway.
worse.
News of a new site. For those who not only listen to you and Carol, but also listen to LBC as a habit, there's a new site where you can find all the websites of LBC presenters, including yours and Carol's. And the address for this one is listen.to/1152.
Is this an official site, or is this some underhand dealing from...
Well, it should become official, you know.
What does that mean? How can it become official? It either is official or it isn't.
Right, well, I've let LBC themselves know, and hopefully the word should get around.
Right, they'll be contacting their lawyers in the morning.
Yeah,
or Monday morning when they show up for for work.
If you go to that site, you can also reach the new Tommy Boyd website that has just been set up by...
There's a nude Tommy Boyd website?
New. There's 4 altogether, and a new one has just started by a guy called Roger, so why not go along and look up it?
And look up Tommy? Look up Tommy, yeah.
That's right. Also,
what was the name? What was the address of this thing? The URL?
Yes.
Computer people say?
http://.
Yeah, never mind about all that.
All right. Listen.to/1152.
Mother.
Short and sweet.
Right.
Any chance of some writing rounds tonight? I haven't had anything.
Yeah, okay. What topic? What category?
I thought of some, I can, I will.
How about why Andy Garland isn't showing up for work anymore? That's 2 weeks in a row, and where the hell is he? He's supposed to be doing this show. He's supposed to be he's the bloke with all my sound effects. I haven't got a single solitary I'm going to have to make my own sound effects.
Yeah. You have to eat a cheese and chutney sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. I'll have to load up on some beans for you.
Yeah. Who's doing the phones? Jonathan?
Yes.
Oh, do you know he's got a website?
He does?
Yeah.
Is this
also,
true?
if you go to this 1152 site, you can reach his.
And what's on it? Now, is it his that he...
His own personal page.
That he made himself?
Yep. Yeah, it's quite interesting.
Is your mic on?
Sorry?
Jonathan? Is your mic on?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Doesn't sound like it.
Well, you better just split the in. What's that?
That's you. Yeah, you're on that one. You have to drag that one over.
I think I have to talk right into it. Yeah, it's on now.
What's this?
What's what? The website?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's calm.to/J Sanchez.
Yep, so I've linked that up to this new site, and hopefully that should bring some more traffic your way, Jonathan.
Well, thank you very much.
That's all right. My pleasure.
Well, this has been nice.
Yeah, it certainly has been.
Kind of, yeah. That's like a visit with the family, isn't it?
That's right.
Okay, listen, back to your pewter, because you'll get unlogged.
I don't have my own pewter. That's why I use the internet cafe.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not one of those well-off people like you, you and Carol.
Wouldn't you save yourself an enormous amount of money if you just bought a computer and...
Well, this is the new breed of internet cafe. It's quite cheap to use, so now there's no excuse for people not to get on the net.
Well, apart from it's, really, really frustrating and boring. Apart from those excuses, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot, mate.
Okay, thanks.
0171 412 1152, it's LBC.
This is a journey into sound.
We'd like to apologize for anything that Abbot and McGiffin say.
Nick Abbott and Carol McGiffin.
Come on again.
McGiffin? No, McGiffin. Okay. Nick Abbott and Carol...
Get a new voiceover.
Carol McGiffin, personal voiceover.
Thank you.
Hello, sweetie.
Nick Abbot and Carol McGiffin on LBC, the voice of London.
So let's just plunge through. Here's one in West Drayton. Hello.
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 How have you been today?
I've had an interesting day, actually. I went to Hoxton, Shoreditch. Have you been?
No.
It's like Glastonbury.
All right.
Lots of artsy-fartsy hippie people around, and it has this sort of interesting vibe. I think I'll live there.
Wonderful. I've been at the Bunny Park in Ealing.
Excuse me?
Flat on my back. It's been glorious.
The Bunny Park?
Yeah, in Ealing with the children. It's really been a lovely day today, just staring at the sky all day long.
Can I just recap?
Yes.
The Bunny Park?
Bunny Park, yeah.
What's that?
It's called the Bunny Park. Well, it's a park with bunnies. No.
How did it get its name then?
Lots of little animals and things like that. Park in there. And it was just really, really nice.
Yeah, about time.
Sweat tonight umpiring at netball, yes, and I know I'm too old, but happy birthday for tomorrow.
Yeah, happy birthday to me. If only Andy was showing up for work these days, I'd be able to play da-da-da-da-da.
What are you doing for your birthday? Anything nice?
Working.
Working? On your birthday, it shouldn't be allowed.
I work every day.
I work every day. Why?
Why? Because that's just the way it. That's just the way it goes.
It's not right, is it? We should be born with loads and loads of money, so we don't have to work.
What would be nice is if you were born with all the money that you'll earn ever.
That's right.
And then you get to spend it.
When you're young enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although that's probably not a good idea because you don't appreciate things that are expensive when you're young. Because you go to
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't. You go to an expensive restaurant, you're fidgeting, and you can't wait to get up and go out and go mental.
Well, that's all right. That's fine. But I mean, there's no point in sort of slugging your guts out while you're young and fit and vital, just to sit around like a cabbage because you're too old to do anything else and have loads of dough. Doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, Paula Yates. Did you see it?
Is that what you're calling Paula? It?
Yes. Oh, she's looking rough, isn't she? Did you see it?
You'd look rough if you'd been through what that poor woman has been through.
Right, what has she been through?
What, haven't you been reading the newspapers?
Well, sort of. But, you know, it's all self-inflicted, isn't it? Did you see it?
No, I didn't, no. What was she like? Did she gain your sympathy? Paula Yates?
Yes, she did, actually. And lots of my friends sort of were giving me stick because it was, they were saying how, you know, hard she is and manipulating the press and manipulating everybody and blah, 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 blah. But she did seem quite a tragic figure and I felt for her.
Everybody that's ever in the press, if they start moaning about being in the press starts, oh, well, they're manipulating us, and, you know, and I think, no, the only people that ever manipulate anybody as regards the press are the press. Because they have to, from scratch, make up an entire newspaper every day. Because otherwise, there'd just be blanks. Have you noticed that there's always just exactly enough news to precisely fill the pages of a newspaper?
Yeah.
Don't you find that bizarre?
Yeah, we have to bring out a second edition.
Yeah, like there wouldn't be gaps. Or an extra page that they had to, like, staple on the back. Oh, we forgot. There's something else.
No, well, that was all. If you haven't seen it, there's not much conversation to be had. But no, I thought it was a good programme. And they were showing, like, video clips of and sort of stills of all these people with their also-erotic sex that they were doing.
They did what?
Well,
was this Channel 5?
No, because she's sort of saying that she would rather her daughter, I think the thrust of it was that she'd rather her daughter, Tiger Lily, would think that her father hadn't committed suicide and chosen to leave them, but that he...
Well, as opposed to strangling himself while trying to increase the intensity of his orgasm during an onanistic session.
You did?
Yeah, his daughter's really going to feel good about that when she grows up and reads it in the press.
I suppose, but she looked to state, the poor woman. She's obviously gone through the mill. But no, it was quite an interesting programme. And just when they were showing all these stills, they were really blurred. And I'm thinking, I want to know more about this. Call me a pervert, but there's not enough information.
Gillian, you are a pervert.
No, there's not enough information. I just thought, I don't understand it. What happened?
Well, I believe it's something like restricting the flow of oxygen to your brain intensifies sexual pleasure. That's what I believe is what it's all about. Yes, which you can work from anything from throwing your head back, while in the throes, which would restrict the oxygen intake. Understand? So you kind of you without thinking do it anyway. But this is going a stage further.
Oh, what are all these oranges and things?
Can we leave fruit till after 10?
All right. I just needed to know more, you know, curiosity and all that.
Of course, if you don't ask, you'll never know.
Yes.
That's what you should tell your daughter when she asks.
No, my daughter knows enough already, thank you.
Really?
Yes.
How old?
11.
11. Well, the pain has yet to begin.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Show, bye.
Ta-ra. 0171 412 1152. Come on, it's my birthday tomorrow. Look at this response. I know there's virtually nobody listening to this damn show, but you've got to help me out today because Her Majesty is not here. She's sucking up free booze as provided by Zoe Ball and Norman, what's his name? Norman, what is his name? Is he Norman Cook? Anyway, exactly. Who's his name? Some really, really famous bloke you'd pass on the street without even recognising. So that's where she is. It's 0171 412 1150. I'll tell you, I'm going to leave and walk out and not come back if this board doesn't lighten up a little bit. So I don't need this stress. I was walking into Hampstead Tube Station just this afternoon, and I was handed a leaflet by some bloke who was giving them out outside to a place called Toast, which is a restaurant that's just opened above Hampstead Tube Station, as unappetising as that sounds, in this sort of tiny little place above a tube station. It's a fancy, really expensive, you know. I haven't studied the menu that closely, but I think it's like 25 quid for 2 courses. So, you know, it's right up there. And the note says, ladies, we are offering all our lady lunch guests 3 courses for £10 throughout the summer season. And at first I thought, which decade are we in now? Ladies? As in ladies. Ladies in free and 2 drinks on Thursday nights. This is a restaurant. How can they... and it's not like they're just doing it on the sly, you know, going up to ladies who lunch. There might be regulars and saying, well, we'll compliment your their starter courses or something like that. They're actually advertising and giving it out to willy-nilly. Ladies, not men. Men have to presumably pay more. That can be the only thing that you would get from this. Lady lunch guests, 3 courses for £10 throughout the summer season. I know Hampstead's one of those places where it's just like chock-a-block with ladies who lunch, but really, I mean, look up NAF in a dictionary and it says, see this leaflet.
Nick Abbot and Carol McGiffin.
I've noticed you around.
LBC Saturday nights. Fancy a quiet night in?
I'm going to just punch this one up at random. Hello.
Hi there. Can I come on air and wish Nick a happy birthday?
You are on the air.
Yeah.
I know that was quick, but it's like...
I better turn my radio off, hadn't I, Nick?
Shooting fish in a barrel taking calls on this show.
You're a brave man.
So,
what are you going to do for your birthday tomorrow, apart from working from 10 o'clock in the morning?
Well, you know what?
You masochist.
No, not 10. I'm working at 1.
Oh, are you? Oh. I think I must have the listing wrong.
I'm going to, I went to Star Wars, during the week. Because it's one of these things that I thought, I'm going to hate it. And I'm going to come out thinking, oh, what a pile of garbage.
Yeah, because I've heard those tales as well. I've had people tell me it's a bit...
I know, I was expecting the worst. But it's just one of those things that I thought, you've got to go and see. Particularly, you've got to go and see it while it's still on the huge screen in the West End. Because it's an event that's bigger than a movie. It's just like it's a social event. It's one of these things that brings the nation together. You know,
it's all about the merchandise and the burgers at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. It's all about making money.
Yeah.
So I went to see it in the worst possible mood and thought, I'm going to walk out feeling like I've been abused and financially raped. And I came out absolutely loved it.
Oh, good.
Now, this is a movie that doesn't need any help from me or, in fact, anybody else at all. All the critical panning that it had, and it still made more money than God. So, I'm not saying it to help anybody out, obviously, but it's just such a great film. You know the computer graphics that you see on the dinosaur movie,
Jurassic Park.
Exactly, yeah. and digitally made special effects. There's always something that's not quite right, and it's almost indefinable sometimes.
Yeah, you can tell.
Exactly, and you don't know why you can tell, but it doesn't look real.
Yeah.
In this movie, you don't question it. Everything looks completely real. And I found myself laughing out loud at not because it was funny, but because it was just so amazing. What I was looking at, it was just incredible. So I'm going to go and see it again.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm nearly sold on it, Nick, actually. I might go and see it.
After that 5-minute diatribe on how fabulous it was, you're only nearly sold on it?
All right, I'll go and tell you what I think of it.
Exactly. There you go.
What about the other films at the moment? Austin Powers and...
Well, I enjoyed that too. That's...
You've seen Austin Powers?
Yeah, it's a film to be enjoyed after maybe a drink.
Yeah, I can understand that concept.
And without expecting anything from it. It's really lightweight and totally daft, and it's a lot of fun, actually. I like their advert that they... I've never seen this before, but the advert for Austin Powers said, if you only see one film this year, see Star Wars. This is an ad for Austin Powers.
Yeah.
And they said, if you see another one, see this one. So I warmed to them right from the start.
Yeah, very honest. And what about South Park? Because that opened yesterday, didn't it?
It did?
Yeah, it's opened already in the West End, I think. They had previews on Thursday. I've been too busy to see it.
I did not know that. I saw a bus with a South Park ad going by, and it seemed to be one of these... You know, you get these religious postcards, and Jesus smiling and not and frowning, and if you tip it back one way and the other.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know the kind of thing? They're made of plastic, and they're ridged, and they're sort of three-dimensional, and they go back and forth like this when you turn them. I saw a bus with one of those. I've never seen that before. It's with...
That's advanced.
Yeah, and as the bus goes by, the various characters from South Park all merge into one.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, there's something to look
very
at
eye-catching.
on a street near you soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, thanks a lot, mate.
Well, thank you too, Nick. It's been a pleasure to speak to you again. It's been a long time since I spoke to you.
Well, I've just been on a lucky streak then, I guess.
So you have.
0171 412.
Yeah, it wouldn't last very long.
Yeah.
Right.
412 1152. Here's another Star Wars nerd. Hello.
Hi, I'm not a Star Wars nerd. Just going to talk about Star Wars, that's all.
Like I said before.
Star Wars nerd. I thought the film was brilliant, actually, excellent. I had the opportunity to go and see the premiere of it up in London.
Well, aren't you fancy?
I know, it was great, it was fantastic. Not a lot of stars there, apart from George Lucas and all the other people, but...
well, what does that mean? Not a lot of stars, apart from George Lucas and all the other people.
Ewan McGregor and Natalie Portman.
The thing with that movie, and it's, I suppose, this is what critics were saying, that all the characters are subsumed under a weight of special effects.
Yeah.
And that's true, but that's what the movie's about. The movie's not particularly about.
Well, that was what the other three were about, wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
Special effects. I mean, it didn't have much of a storyline in it. It was kind of like the Aries. It had its own storyline in it for a new generation of Star Wars fanatics.
Well, the thing with the storyline was that I didn't really have the faintest idea what was going on. Here's a tip. If you're going to see this movie, you have to pay attention right from the start, because the words start at the bottom of the screen and they go back like they always do in the Star Wars movies. Well, normally it's quite simple. Here's the bad guy and the good guy, and that's it. But in this one, blimey, it was like reading Hansard. It was it just went on forever, all this politicizing and intrigue, and I gave up reading halfway through. I thought I'd come see a movie, not read a book.
But you did walk out sort of like it was worth seeing. It's one of those... have to see it this year, I think. I'm recommending it to most people. I've seen it twice. I'm not going to see it again, though, so...
Well, wait till it comes out on DVD, which I think will be never.
E.T.'s in it.
Say what?
E.T.'s. Because Steven Spielberg had a part in making it, you see, and there was some E.T.'s in it. About 4 or 5. In one of the scenes, the scene where Natalie Portman, I can't remember her character's name, goes off to the planet to ask for asylum or whatever.
Well, see, now everybody who hasn't seen it is sticking their fingers in their ears and humming because they don't want to hear what happens in the end. Everybody dies, by the way, in the end.
Yeah, everyone.
Every single person on the screen.
It's a really gory ending, isn't it?
There's blood everywhere.
Yeah, and Darth Vader, he's just all over the place.
Kids in the cinema are crying.
Oh, puke, everything. I know, popcorn up in the air. It's just really gross, yeah. Austin Powers, did you actually laugh all the way through?
I chuckled. Yeah, I chuckled a lot. I thought it was quite funny. It was a collection of really, really old jokes, like all stuck together. But it was such a you got such a good vibe from it. It was done in such good humour. I thought I liked it a lot.
I'm sitting the most annoying guy in the world who just laughs out loud at every single little thing. It's just kind of like spoiled it for me.
Well, in laughing out loud or rather too much in a movie like that is one thing, but laughing too much in a movie that has an intelligent script, like Woody Allen or I don't know, just something where there's a lot of artsy-fartsy references and people laugh. I watched like Shakespeare in Love.
Yeah, that was actually a good film, Shakespeare in Love.
It was all right. I thought it was okay. I think I was in the wrong mood. I wanted to...
You're always in a mood.
I am in a mood.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
Is it getting old? 48 tomorrow, isn't it?
No, it's 39.
39. Going on 48.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. It's I don't know. I'll need intense psychoanalysis to find out why I am so incredibly moody. But you're right, I am.
You are always, and on the other place as well.
Huh? I'm in a mood at the other place?
Yeah.
No, I'm happiness and light over there.
Are you?
Not specifically in a mood here, but no, I try to. Well, at least I try to sound like I'm not in a mood.
Most radio presenters I know are always in a mood. So.
Well, that's as arty types.
Yeah. Anyway, have a good show.
We suffer from it. Well, yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah.
But,
hope I get lots of calls. Good. Have a good birthday tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, and is it on your own next week as well?
If it is, I don't think I'm coming in. I'm serious. Because look at this board. You are the only caller I've got on this stinking board.
No, I mean, it's quite easy. All you do is pick up the phone, 0171412.
And then we have a chat. Yeah.
John, really nice guy, just takes your name and number and he phones you straight back, so you're not costing anything. And he get through to you in about, 1 second.
Well, exactly. You probably won't even have to go through John, because I'll just punch you straight up on the board here.
Have you thought about a lightning round, or...?
Well, yeah, but...
is it slow, is it?
To lead them by the nose this early in the game...
Yeah, that is true, because you're using up all your calls now.
It's a desperate situation, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm using up all my regulars already.
What about the, during the sun... Oh, did you watch any TV when the A-levels results were being given out? I mean, these kids that are going on TV, opening up their A-level results, I mean, I feel sad for a couple on Big Breakfast. One of them failed.
Did they do that again? I remember
on national TV.
Yeah, I remember they did that last year. They did it again, did they?
Yeah, they did it again, and it was very obvious. The ones that were going to pass were the two blondes on the Big Breakfast with assets and all the bits and pieces. I think it was rather rigged, but...
You say that Channel 4 rigged the A-level results just so that...
not rigged them, just...
Two good-looking blonde girls would win. Is that it?
They researched very well to find out who would get good results and who wouldn't.
Yeah, it's like the Army show on BBC where they follow these recruits.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of that?
I've seen bits and pieces, but the language and everything just kind of really puts me off.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not really into all that kind of stuff. And
the language puts you off?
Sorry?
The language puts you off?
I mean, those guys are really... I don't know how... I would never have survived 5 seconds in an army camp.
Well, because of the swearing?
Just because of the hard work.
How old are you? The language...
You know, I'm 23.
You're a 23-year-old?
23. I don't swear every 5 minutes.
Yeah, and you're upset by swearing?
Well, I don't think it's necessary. I think it's necessary on television for someone to carry on swearing like that.
It doesn't bother. It depends on the circumstance. I mean, if I was watching Blue Peter and they started effing and blinding because the cardboard doesn't stick together, or the souffle didn't rise, then I think I'd find that upsetting. If Tinky Winky started off on one and started belting Poo Poo and La La,
all right,
then that would be a problem, I think.
Yeah.
But not on an army program. No, it doesn't bother me at all.
Well, don't find any language.
Well, let me ask you this: do you watch television with your parents?
At times, yeah.
Well, see, there you go. That's the reason why you don't.
I suppose because you get embarrassed, don't you?
Yeah.
Certain things that come on television, especially the sex scenes.
Well, yeah, a horrific hush descends upon the room.
Doesn't it? And you look at your mum, and your mum's kind of like, and your dad's half asleep anyway because he's out of his brains on beer. And
I'm sure he'd love that you would have said that.
Oh, no, I'm glad they're not listening.
And in the era before the remote control, or even now, I suppose, because, it might not be where your mum is.
My mum just keeps the remote control by her all the time because I don't get a look in.
She knows, she's obviously a very smart woman. And she would say something like, we don't want to watch this, do we? Or, something to break the silence. And in the era before remote controls, the kids were the remote controls, and we had to get bouncing up and down and flipping the channels all the time.
The thing is to buy one of these all-in-one remote controls, which I did at Christmas, where the infrared kind of like thing works on every TV and every remote control thing in the house, and you just swap it back.
Well, I've seen those, but I've got so many things that I need a remote for that I don't think this is a...
They're easy to program in. You just look at the instructions and just fiddle around.
There's instructions? Oh, well, forget it.
Yeah, not got instructions.
I don't do instructions. I just try and...
work it out.
Yeah, take it out of the box and try and figure it out, yeah.
How many failures you've had on that?
Well, every single thing I've ever bought.
Really?
Do you think I'd have learnt by now?
Oh, I mean, I was listening to LBC during the week, the Steve Allen show. Sorry for changing the subject again. The refugee crisis, and on, was it Tuesday or Wednesday? The amount of people who phoned in that are racist is unbelievable.
Everybody is racist.
I suppose we are.
You are? I am. Every single person listening to this show is racist.
I wouldn't like to call myself racist,
well,
but I know I probably am.
For you.
You'd probably be able to dig me a hole very easily.
Everybody is. That's just the way we're programmed. It's survival of the self. That's just it's as basic as the sexual urge. We're all racist. Doesn't matter where these poor people from Kosovo end up.
No,
they're going to get hated wherever they go.
Yeah, I mean it's a shame really because where are we? Unfortunately, that's the way society's gone today.
Yeah, but they should be thinking about, like I'm not saying send them back, but shouldn't they be thinking about going back? I mean, wouldn't they want to go back?
Well, I think
they can't possibly enjoy it here.
No, I mean, that's what, go back and rebuild. And, But, I think maybe...
Or is the deal you wait till, you wait till America rebuilds, and then you, like Kuwait, and then you go back. Is that how it works?
Yeah, my dad travels a lot, and been over to Kuwait, and apparently they've built it up really quickly and everything, so and it's all back to normal.
Yeah, well, they had the cash.
True.
I don't think the Kuwaitis actually lent a hand to rebuild, did they? They just paid a lot of Americans to come in and do it for them.
I mean,
and the Brits too.
There's so much money tied up over there, isn't there? What do you think about the petrol price? Isn't that mad? I mean, how much am I paying for a little bit of petrol just to go up the road?
Well, you know what? I haven't really paid much attention. I've been freaking out about the stamp duty.
Stamp duty?
What things cost. I know that the press have been in a slow summer of news.
Yeah.
They've all sort of, I think the Sun started it. The Sun started it like about a year or so ago with a little column saying, why do we have to pay this much? But everybody in this country knows that. All you have to do is leave the country and go to, virtually anywhere other than Monaco.
Yeah.
And you'll find that things are cheaper elsewhere. And you come back and you think, why do I have to pay this much for this?
It's a bloody government, isn't it?
It mostly is, just as you say, the bloody government. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I really don't get it, especially in petrol and stuff like that. I mean I'm really thinking about giving up my car, but the trouble is, I rely on my car to get to work, rely on my car to go to hobbies, and I'd really rely on my car. If I didn't have my car, I mean, I could cycle. That is true, I could cycle. It would
but you can't,
it would totally do me in. I mean, cycle on a cold, wet day.
That's right, you can't.
A bit of a wuss.
And you can't also make out in the back seat of a cycle.
That is true. And public transport down this way, I mean, is around, but it doesn't go where I want it to go. It goes okay to a certain area, but you have about a 30-minute walk ahead of you.
Right, so I'm convinced you need to keep your car. Hey, listen, I better go.
Hey, good show. See you later. Bye.
0171 412 1152 is South Norwood.
I want to speak about all the subjects.
Well, when you've only got one other call on the board, you just keep them talking for a little while because you never know that might be the last call you get.
You sound so depressed, man.
It is depressing. I tell you what, doing this show, I know there's nobody, like virtually no one at all listening. Everybody who normally listens to LBC turns off at 6 when me and Carol come on. And that's, like, I've got the figures. I'll show them to you if you like.
Oh, right, you've got the figures now. Is it up, down, or what?
What, from last time? From when, who was doing the show before?
You at Brandreth or something?
Charles Brandreth. Yeah, it may well be down. Because we don't appeal to the audience that listens to LBC. You look at the column, you look at the demographics, the age of people who listen to the station, and the column there's basically only one column, and that column goes to 0 when we come on at 6. So in other words, nobody that listens to LBC listens to our show at all. And then they come back when Mike Allen comes on at 10. Similarly, the people who listen to this show only come in to listen to this show and then go. And they don't listen to anything else on the station. So we're kind of, we don't fit in.
Are you going to be here after September? You're not, are you?
Well, if you wanted me to bet on it, I would have to say no.
Oh, you're joking. Are you going to fight? Are you going to fight the opposition?
Fight what? I mean, you know, if you don't fit in the age group of the people that listen, either they're going to have to change the age group of the people that listen, or they're going to have to put something in here that appeals to the age group of the people of the people who ordinarily listen to this station.
Was it better at the other place, rating-wise?
Are you kidding?
Right. Okay. Listen.
The phrase chalk and cheese comes to mind. It's like, not even close.
Have you seen the film The Matrix?
Yes.
Then how can you compare it to Star Wars, The Matrix?
I didn't compare it to Star Wars.
All right, okay. Well, just pretend you did.
I'm an idiot.
It's brilliant. It's better than Star Wars.
No, that's not true.
You don't think so?
You know the part where I said no, that's not true? Did they give you a clue?
It's much better.
It's not better. It's good, but it's not as amazing. It's okay. I thought it was all right.
Okay.
Maybe I need to see it again.
Right. Okay then.
Have you seen Star Wars?
Yeah.
Because you sound like one of these people who'd, you know... Oh, okay, you're not. Okay. Who has a rigid...
Well, just say it anyway, just to fill the gap.
Exactly. Who has a rigid opinion about something, you know, having not even seen it.
No, I've seen Star Wars, and it has nothing on the Matrix.
You know, like these old bags who were forever censoring things.
That's right.
You know, ask Mary about, you know, anything on Channel 5, and she'll say it's absolutely disgusting, and it shouldn't be allowed. And you'll say, oh, by the way, have you seen it? She said, no. No, I wouldn't, you know, sully myself by seeing stuff like that. But I know what it's like.
I'm going to go now and let you look at the busy board.
Yeah, let me twiddle my thumbs for the next 3
You
hours.
get that other guy in. You know the producer, what's his name? That was at the other place.
Kev?
Yes.
No, well, I asked him, but he was being very difficult and show busy, and he had to go to Manchester.
I miss him. I like him.
Yeah.
You are. Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
0171 412 1152.
The Voice of London with Abbot and McGiffin.
Nick Abbott and Carol McGiffin.
Is that right?
LBC 1152.
0171 412 1152.
Those numbers that we were saying in that little produced promotional bit are the phone numbers for this station. Now you can call them willy-nilly whenever you like. I'm here forever. Here's one in Harrow. Harrow?
Oh, how you doing, Nick?
All right.
All right. Yeah, that's interesting, actually, that you just mentioned Star Wars, because I wasn't actually going to talk about it, but I was in Leicester Square the other day, and I saw it. Yeah, I thought it was better than The Matrix myself. Yeah.
It just seemed bigger, you know? It's just, it was a bigger film. I thought The Matrix was okay, but The Matrix seemed to be... Oh, well, I guess... I was going to say The Matrix seemed to be just about the special effects.
Yeah.
But then I guess that's what Star Wars was too. I just thought it was a more enjoyable movie. I mean...
No, I mean, I kind of didn't like the idea that they were a bunch of people who could just download their skills. They'd just got to a phone and say, oh, I want to fly a helicopter.
I thought that was a pretty good idea in that...
But it was a bit annoying, I thought.
But they weren't... The thing about The Matrix was, it was a really neat idea in that none of us are actually here. We just think we are. Where we... I can't remember what we were supposed to be. Were we stuck in little tubes being... Why were we stuck in tubes?
We're all plugged into a computer and
yeah, basically our minds... we're all stuck in tubes. We're not actually here. But our minds are being programmed to tell us that we're having interesting and enjoyable lives by this big computer that's enslaved us all. No, I know that sounds daft, but that's what the movie was about. And it was quite good in that they weren't actually really fighting, they were just mentally fighting. That was why they could download all this information, because they were just treating each other as computers. Let's not talk about this, because it's just really a film that you've got to see, rather than, sitting here and desperately trying to explain the ins and outs of it.
Oh, no.
Performance art I've got on my screen. What does that mean?
No, I was just going to comment on these people that are around Leicester Square. They do their little tricks. I don't know if you've seen them, but there's like a caveman guy there with clubs, and he sort of stands on a crate. I was just wondering if you'd seen him at all.
He stands on a crate?
Well, there's a set of people. There's actually a guy there now dressed up as Darth Maul. There's a sort of silver guy.
But what do they do? You said tricks.
Well, if you go up to them and you put a few coins into their little pot, they do something. So, like, the caveman guy, he's got a set of clubs. So you go over to him, and he chucked, well, actually, we were walking past him, and he chucked a club at a friend of mine. So we sort of turned around, and he was like there going, oh, pass it back to me. Pass it back to him, and he's like, he's kind of a bit crazy. I don't know how to quite how to describe him.
You think he's crazy? He's dressed as a caveman, and he's standing on a box in Leicester Square, and you think he's crazy? Really? What leads you to that conclusion, Doctor? What I can't get is the people who do standing still for a living. They paint themselves from head to toe in silver, and then just stand still, and that's it. I've seen that all over the world. People have got the standing still skills. And it seems to me that busking used to be about entertaining, about, covering old Roger Whittaker tracks, or, something by Pink Floyd or something like that, and, entertaining people as they went by, or juggling, or eating fire, or some sort of, identifiable skill that is enjoyable to watch or listen to. But painting yourself silver and standing still, that's, you might as well just ask people for some spare change, please.
Yeah, but it takes a lot of patience, and I wouldn't have the courage to do that,
But when you're painted silver and you look like a robot, you don't need courage, because you are suddenly this other character.
The caveman, he's there in his caveman outfit. I mean, I hate to think what happens to him when it rains, but he looked pretty cold.
He gets his fur wet, probably, and stinks to high heaven. You know what wet fur smells like?
There was actually a little girl there, and he was staring at her, and I think she got a bit freaked out by him.
Well, I would think so, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, next time you see him, call the police first.
Yeah, I was noticing, actually, the Darth Maul guy, he's got, like, a whole crowd around him, so that was probably a bit of a wise move to get dressed up like that. There's a bit of cash in there.
Yeah, probably right. Okay, listen, I've got to go.
Okay, then.
Ta-ta.
Nice talking to you.
Here's one in Enfield.
Hi, Nick.
How you doing?
I'm certainly a person who doesn't fall into your category for listening to this show.
Now, what does that mean?
Well, you gave out 2 reasons earlier on why they are or are not listening to your show. I'm a fallout from Channel 4. I've just come into the workshop to play around with a few bits and pieces and thought, I've got to switch the radio on because I'm so fed up with cricket. Channel 4's got the pieces, so I thought, I turned to BBC 2, what they got, sport. What they got on Channel 5, some rubbish called something Warrior or something, and I thought, I must listen to the radio. And you're there. I've never heard you before, so it's interesting.
Well, it's
warm and crazy.
It's yeah.
But it's more sane than watching Channel 4 cricket.
I can't believe that they spent all the money on buying in cricket. Who in this, and in God's name,
BBC had it correct, because what they did, you see, they had BBC One, as mundane as that was, and they had cricket on BBC Two. So what you could do was ignore BBC Two and at least watch something rubbishy on BBC One. But Channel 4, you've got no option. There's no second Channel 4. And at least this time of night in the past, you had something of a cerebral, intelligent level, even though it was Right to Reply or a political thing. You had something for a couple of hours, but now it's dead in the water. But besides that, don't you think sports is invaded everywhere now? Absolutely everywhere.
It's, I don't know that, I don't think that people like watching sport as much as we're given sport to watch. And it's an easy thing to put on the radio or the TV because you think, oh, that'll get an instant audience.
Yeah.
But it just Because I like watching a football match every now and again, but...
Yeah, I do. But I don't want it. Nearly every time I turn on TV now, there's this hyped up, pumped up, dynamic range music accompanied piece of action showing what glorious goals are going to happen in the next battle between one... It's hyped up like that.
The thing with, was it Sky? I think, the advert for Sky for their upcoming football coverage, I thought was among the most offensive I'd ever seen. Now, I think that they've done a really good job with their football coverage, but this was advertising, I think it was Manchester United and Arsenal, and it was advertising the fights. It was basically saying, this is going to be a bloodbath. And the only clips that they showed were of really ferocious, appalling tackles. Not goals going in or, great skill on the field. It was all people being...
World Cup wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. It was people being taken out from behind, and I don't think that that's really why people watched football.
But cricket, as you're going back to Channel 4, I don't know why they've done it. I'm sure they're going to get a boil on a bum for this.
But the thing with Channel 4 is that their average audience is quite young, I would think. But people who watch cricket generally aren't.
Well, I'm not. Look, put it this way: I'm not young. I'm 52. I've still got a young mind, and I watched Channel 4 when it first started, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. It was lively. It was adventurous. It was dangerous. Now to be honest with you, it's worse than Channel 5, because what they're putting around the cricket is fill-in stuff. I mean, tonight, this cricket, you're going to see it right up till, I believe it's 8 o'clock. You're going to have the news, then another hour, you're going to have the highlights of what you just watched.
Well, if you can just hang on for another hour after that, and I know, at that time of night you just want to go to sleep, but just for one extra hour after that, I think on Channel 5 it's Debbie Does Dallas.
This is the Voice of London on 11:52 a.m. LBC News.
It's 7 o'clock. I'm Matt Walsh.
LBC weather.
Every time I come out the news, you hunt for the weather button. It's just kind of lost in a blizzard of buttons. There's so many buttons in front of us. And just whoever designed this studio, really, I'm not kidding, they should be taken out and shot. Here's one, I don't know why I said that, because what I'm going to do now is read the weather. So here's one, doesn't fit. 10 degrees, 50 Fahrenheit tonight, that's 8 and 46 outside of town. Fine spell of weather will continue into tomorrow morning. Dry and bright day in store with some light easterly wind. It's kind of coming in too late now. Now, less like summer, more like autumn. But 21 degrees tomorrow, that's 70 Fahrenheit.
LBC Travel.
Problems for drivers in Loughton. Chigwell Lane is closed off following an accident to either side of the M11 at junction 5. There's no access from Oakwood Hill, the M11 or Rolls Park Corner at this time. A127, an accident there on the South End Arterial Road between the M25 and Hall Lane. Queuing traffic westbound at the Squirrels Heath Road lights back towards the Upminster turn. The Oval Cricket Ground delays there in the area. Now the England versus New Zealand cricket match has come to an end. And the A10 Kingsland Road at Shoreditch has delays expected because of sewer works northbound around the junction of Falkirk Street. Moving to public transport, Silverlink County Overground trains between Watford and St Albans have no service because of emergency track repairs. Tickets are being accepted on Thameslink services. On the Underground, Piccadilly Line delays, District Line delays, Bakerloo Line trains not stopping at Paddington for fire safety checks. Northbound trains not calling at Kenton Station either. And on the Central Line, there's no service between Northampton and Ealing Broadway. I'm Daniel G. at AA Vodafone Roadwatch for LBC Travel.
And you had more music than you needed.
It's Nick Abbot and Carol McGiffin. On LBC, the Voice of London, and Carol McGiffin, 0171 412 1152.
Madam is away watching two people be betrothed to each other. I suppose they're betrothed already. So she's just sucking up the free booze now and has promised that she will call. In the meantime, here's one in Highgate. Hello, Jenny. Oops. Wrong one. 15. Hello, Jenny.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm okay. I was just driving along and I was listening to you on the radio.
Minding your own business.
Yeah, and you were talking about an ad you'd seen on a bus.
Yeah.
And I got to the top of Cricklewood Lane, the Hampstead end, and I've seen this amazing ad.
What's it?
I don't know what it means. I think it's for a radio station, but the traffic was bad and I couldn't go back for a second look, but it said this: an ugly man with no money might as well cut off his penis.
Yeah, that's Howard Stern.
Is it?
Yeah. And you'll have us taken off the air now, because Howard Stern, he's one of the biggest talk show hosts in American radio.
All right. So was it done to shock? Yeah.
Well, that's what he does for a living, yeah.
All right. Well, it certainly should. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, believe it. He's got a TV program as well, which airs on Bravo, I believe.
Right.
Which I don't get because it's not on digital.
So is he going to be on the radio here, or he is already, or what?
No, he would, with the rules that we have to work to in this country, he'd last about 5 seconds on the radio over here. They would, because there's the same kind of mentality that used to suffuse television still does radio, and there's a lot of...
like shock jock or something?
Yeah, there's a lot of elderly people with blue ridges in their hair that would freak out and have him banned from the station, any station, instantly.
Right. Well, I'm not quite the blue rinse brigade yet. I'm still in my 40s, but it sort of... I was driving along, quite, just coming from Brent Cross, and I thought, did I read that right? And obviously I did.
But what do you do? Do you subscribe to the truth of that statement? That basically the only thing that would interest a woman in a man is either looks or money, specifically the latter?
Well, I did think about it. I gave it quite a lot of thought on the way home and thought of all the men I have known.
Yeah, known in the biblical sense.
Yes, probably. And,
let me ask you this. Have you known all the men you've known?
No, of course not. Of course not. If only I'd have known all the men
then you wouldn't be wasting your time calling me.
I wouldn't have,
You'd have 2 dates tonight already, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But would you think that's right?
Well, I think
there's an element of truth in it.
So. I'd like to know what Carol thinks about it anyway.
Well, Madam is away.
I know she is, but she's going to phone in, hopefully.
Well, maybe. I don't know. If she
well, ask her when she comes back anyway, but...
My money's on her not remembering what the number is.
Oh, you are in a bad mood tonight.
No, I bet she doesn't remember what the number is, because we always sit here and we read it off the screen.
Oh, it's true, like your own number. When somebody asks me my telephone number, I have to stop and think, because it's true, you don't know your own number.
Blimey, you are out your mind. They allow you to
excuse me?
to drive a car in traffic?
In traffic, yeah. And thinking what I'm going to wear tonight, so there you go.
But the money thing, now, are you interested more in, now be honest, in money or looks? Because I think that the female of the species is programmed, just like men are programmed genetically from tens of thousands of years ago to seek out as many partners as they can for the propagation of the species. So women are programmed in the same respect to seek out the healthiest, to protect them and their baby while they're sitting in the cave, to go out and hunt for food. And these days, the ability to get food does not mean broad shoulders.
No.
It means a vast wallet.
Well, I must say, I've always been a sucker for a good-looking man.
Excuse me? 0171 412 1152. It's Ronnie in Edinburgh. Hello.
Hi there, Nick. How's it going? So.
Yeah.
Good.
Are you a regular caller in Edinburgh?
I'm not actually, no, because when I phoned in, I think there was some confusion because the guy said on the phone, who are you phoning from? I said Edinburgh, and he just went, oh my God. I think they seemed to think it was that net nerd guy from Edinburgh that phones in.
He's all right.
Yeah, I think he's okay, but it was just a sort of bad reaction when I phoned in.
Now, are you listening to us on the World Wide Wait?
I am indeed, yeah. I usually do, but I never phone in. But I thought I'd give you a phone tonight because you were struggling and stuff with the calls. Yeah. And I guess I'm probably one of these like lurker people that would never ever phone in. But I thought I'd give you a quick spy report from the Edinburgh Festival, tell you what was going on.
Now, have you, living as you do in Edinburgh, do you have any connection with the festival at all, or do you just sort of let it go by, and then when it's over and done with, and all the American tourists leave, you think, oh, well, maybe I should have actually gone on to see, some stand-up comedy or theatre or a show, something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm not one of those people, but I think most of Edinburgh people are. They just, I think they seem to think it's some sort of weirdo students doing something up at the university, putting on a play or something like that.
But there's also...
They just can't be bothered with it.
Yeah, there's also... it's like I don't go to tourist destinations in London, because they're always going to be there, and I know that the festival is only on for a month at most, but there is the sense that, well, it's here, it's always here. Next year it'll still be here, and you don't tend to go out of your way to do things that are on your own doorstep. It's like when you go abroad... you go out every night. Am I right? Like you go to a restaurant, you go clubbing every single, unless you're, really old, when you, skip the clubbing part because you're asleep by 8. But, if you're relatively young and you don't go, I don't go clubbing in this country, hardly ever at all. But when I go abroad, every single night.
Yeah. I think that's something to do with being on holiday, though, isn't it? You've just got to go for it when you're on holiday.
Listen, I'm always on holiday. My entire life is a holiday.
Burn the candle at both ends, yeah?
Not really. I don't tend to do very much at all. How I fill my time, I've got no idea, but it just goes.
But you must be so lucky because, I mean, the stuff that you work, like 3 hours a day or whatever, you've got so much time on your hands, and you probably get a decent wedge for what you do, and you've got all that time.
I know,
what do you do with it?
And still I'm miserable.
You should be sort of seeking out things,
I need help.
Reading decent books, reading all the papers.
Yeah, I know.
But you've got all that time, whereas like everybody else, nobody's got any time to do anything anymore.
You're right.
So you get okay money for what you do.
Yeah.
And B, you've got all that time. You've got all that leisure time. So
I know. I get the best of both worlds because people who are on the dole got a lot of time, no money with which to do anything with it. And I've been there, and I know, and you end up not doing anything at all. All you've got is time when you're on the dole, and you don't do anything at all.
Yeah.
There's a vast amount of free things you can go to. You can go to the theatre, not the theatre, excuse me. You can go to art galleries. You can go to the library and read books, and you can go and get healthy, and so on and so on. You don't do any of them. You just kind of lie in your bed all day and stare at the ceiling, and woe is me and all that jazz. Or you queue up outside the pub at 11 o'clock waiting for it to open. But, me, I got tons of time and, a decent amount of money. And I don't do anything at all. At all. And my mother said to me the other day, what do you actually do? Well, how do you spend your time? I didn't have an answer. I've got no idea. The time just goes.
Yeah, do you have a life? I mean...
No. Television is my life.
That's no life. You need to get out more. Just pick up a hobby or something.
What hobby? Teenagers have not teenagers, even pre-teens have hobbies. Hobby? Like what, for instance?
Take up flying or something.
I can't flap my arms that fast. Flying?
Well, you've got a bit of money. You can sort of go and get
that much money.
Like you watch all the films and stuff. You're a member of a video club, yeah?
No. A video club?
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, you like a video store where you go and get your rent videos.
I haven't rented a video in a good long while, actually. No, DVDs. I buy them from America.
Right.
I'm the person that is, you read a figure about internet, like the amount of money spent on the internet. Yeah, that's me.
Well, what else? You must be able to do something. Just get you out of the house and.
No, I don't actually do anything, but I'm always late for everything.
Yeah.
Like today, I was in here about 30 seconds to 6. Now, if you can't get to work at 6 at night on time, that is there's some sort of problem here, I think.
Yeah.
So what have you seen in the festival so far?
Well, I saw a couple of a couple of free things, so just like review things, and they were sort of people that I knew that knew people in them. So on the sort of first night or whatever, you know, there's nobody coming through the doors to give you free tickets, and to be honest, they were fairly crap because I think there's a lot of people. Anybody could have a show at Edinburgh Festival, yeah. As long as you've got the money, if you've got the money to do it, and you've got that sort of ego, then you can get a show, you can get a venue, and you can do it. And regardless of whether it's going to be any quality at all. And because it costs so much, they basically lose on it. They lose thousands if they're doing a show. They have to try and recover some money, so it's going to be like £7 or £8 a ticket just to get in. So you think, well, I'll go along, I'll try it. I mean, this was free, but if you're paying your £8 or whatever, you're just subsidising their ego, aren't you? You're just subsidising their fantasy to be up there on stage.
Yeah, you're right. I know somebody that's got a show at the Edinburgh Festival this year. I couldn't believe it when she told me, or no, I don't think she told me, but I heard that she was going up there. I don't know if I should tell you who it is. She's a DJ, and she suddenly out of the blue said...
Oh, is it begins with W?
Yeah.
I've seen publicity for her, yeah.
Wendy Lloyd?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What is she doing?
I've no idea. She's starring with somebody else. Is it like some sort of comedy sketch thing or something?
I've got absolutely no idea. Coming up on my screen here, Wendy Lloyd, she's on Sean's show on Saturday on LBC. Right, she does the video reviews. Yeah, so,
right.
Okay. But then I'm telling people who ordinarily listen to the station, but we've already established that nobody who listens to the station listens to this show.
Yeah, do you think these radar figures could be wrong? I mean...
I'm convinced that more people listen than are shown in the radar figures. Yeah, unfortunately, the radar figures, there's...
Are they a good sample? I mean, are they statistically sound?
No, I don't believe that they are, because the amount of people responding is 9. And from those 9... they're taking it to make a figure, of thousands, which is not statistically significant at all. I mean, that you just can't rely on those figures.
Yeah.
But they are, but if you just look at the graph, the up and down graph, this show, the audience for this show sucks, basically. We're doing disastrous business over here, and I think it's specifically because we do not appeal to the age of the audience that ordinarily listens to this station, because every single one of them tunes out at 6, and as I said before, and a whole different audience who doesn't appear in the ratings for any other show for the entire week comes in and listens just to us and then goes away again. So we're...
that doesn't sound good, does it?
Well, we're a stranger in a strange land over here. So like I said before, either they're going to have to go for a younger audience where we might fit in, because, eventually... everyone who listens will be dead. That's the bad news.
It's like, you're talking before about cricket.
Within 5 or 10 years, everyone's going to be dead who listens to this station. So either they're going to have to go for a younger audience, and then we'd fit in here, or can he continue to plough the furrow that they're doing at the moment and get rid of us?
That's right, because you want a sort of reasonably younger audience that you can take with you until your respective deaths. You can take with you.
Well, that's going to come too soon for comfort, I'm afraid.
Yeah, but you're talking about the cricket earlier on, and why they're spending vast sums of money cricket on Channel 4. I don't understand why they're doing that, because if you look at the actual audience in the stadium, there's nobody there. So if nobody actually is interested to go and see it, who's going to be interested in watching on TV?
That's a good point. I can't believe that anybody actually is interested in cricket.
Yeah.
It's got to be the most ponderous game that's ever been invented.
And the people that do go there, they're not actually watching. If you look at them, they're basically some old fart that's half asleep, or there's somebody there that's reading the paper, or they're sitting around in a group in a circle,
yeah,
like they're just sitting out in the park or something.
Yeah.
And nobody's actually watching the play. What's going on?
I think that's how cricket was originally became popular, because you go out in the village green and there's people but you're not actually watching the game because it's just
it's a background thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's too slow and boring. So what you're actually doing is you're having a picnic and you're getting drunk and you're chatting with your friends, and then every now and again someone will hit a ball in your direction and you duck or you throw it back or whatever it is, and it sounds lovely, don't it? Spending a sunny afternoon on the village green.
Yeah.
But when you suddenly put it on TV and try to make it exciting and, put it in a stadium where tens of thousands of people can come along and act like it's a real sport, then suddenly you think, no, it's like darts. Televised darts, what the hell's that about? Darts is about doing something in between drinking. it's nothing to look at in itself, so, which is exactly like cricket. It's something that you want to concentrate on. It's something that, you know, when the conversation flags, you look over and see how they're doing.
Yeah. See, as well, just like going along to the local village park then and getting pissed over there.
It would be
listening to the ball.
Yeah, much more enjoyable. I can't believe
quid on it.
I can't believe that Channel 4, who normally seem to have their act together, have spent any money on cricket, because cricket does not sit well on that station.
Yeah.
The ancient age of the people that watch cricket wouldn't like anything else on Channel 4.
Yeah.
So I guess the blood must have gone to their heads, and cricket rights came up, and they thought, oh, well, we haven't got any football at all, and the BBC are, they're down at the moment, so we might as well kick them. Let's take their cricket.
Yeah,
and I don't think they thought it through, because, you know, TV people, let's face it, they're not that bright. Just turn on the TV and you can figure that out in a second. And so just because it's on television doesn't mean to say that it's right or has been well thought through.
Because when they first started putting cricket on TV, it was on BBC Two when they never used to show anything else in the afternoon. So it was either the test cards, or if there was cricket on, they'd show cricket. And most people wouldn't be able to distinguish between the two.
Exactly. One's as exciting as the other.
Yeah. And then they have these sort of crazy things where they put the cricket on through the night. Have you seen that? They're really into that in Australia.
No.
Where they have these all-day tests. Or not these all-day one-day internationals where it starts in the day and then goes through the night. So they have like black kind of like sporting gear on, and the ball's white so you can see it, and it goes all the way through the night.
Well, so in other words, people are coming back from clubs absolutely out of it, and they just want something that's calming and relaxed. All they need to do is put cricket on with some Brian Eno music in the background.
Après-club entertainment. Yeah.
Bingo! You've got instant hippie TV.
Yeah.
Same with snooker. Perfect, because it's green, so it's easy on the eye, and there's lots of little coloured balls. It can't get any better than that.
Just like the chill-out room, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And listen, thanks very much.
No problem.
And gotta go.
Good luck. See you later.
0171 412 1152.
Sorry about this, London.
0171 412 1152.
Saturday nights with Abbot and McGiffin.
I can't help it. I can't stop listening.
And that Gibbon woman will be calling later, otherwise I'll kill her. Here's one in Hackney. Hello.
Hello, Nick. How are you?
I'm all right.
Good. Yeah, I was talking about that advert that lady was talking about earlier.
The Howard Stern advert. Yes, I see them all over the town now.
Very rude, yes. I saw it when I was on a bus, and I was the only woman on the bus. And as soon as we went past it, every single man on the bus looked at it and looked absolutely
horrified. Yeah, because, only losers take the bus. I mean
oh, no.
I mean that in a nice way.
I felt so bad about it. I went, how awful.
We should do...
Yeah,
we should do a survey. Do people who take the bus actually ever get to have sex?
Well, I don't, so that's one.
Well, I'll tick you off in the no column. What do you mean you never get to have sex?
For a while.
Well, what's a while?
Oh, a good year.
A couple of hours? A year?
Yeah, long time.
Now, is that because, do you actually want to talk about this?
No, I haven't found the right person for a while, so...
You haven't found them? Well, I mean, do you ever leave the house? You've been on a bus, for crying out loud. There's no...
I do leave the house, yes.
You could meet your own type on a bus. So you read this thing that Howard Stern, who is America's archetypal shock jock, if you like. He said that an ugly man with no money might as well
cut off his penis.
Cut off his penis, exactly.
I was very shocked.
And you think about that, what?
It's a bit rude. I won't say exactly what I thought, but
what do you think about the veracity of that statement? Do you think that is true?
No, I don't.
So you would be interested in an ugly poor bloke?
Well, what's ugly?
Is that why you keep hanging around buses?
What's ugly, though? It's like, how do you define what ugly is?
Well, you know what, as soon as you see it, you know you're seeing it.
Do I?
Of course.
Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose so.
You still haven't answered the question.
No, what was the question?
The question is, do you think that you'd be interested in an ugly bloke with no money?
Well, they'd have to be very, very nice.
Rich.
In some other way. No, they just have to be the nicest person.
What, you mean he'd have to have an absolutely enormous personality?
Absolutely, yeah. I'd have to get on with them really well. Yeah.
So I think what we're saying is no, isn't it?
I'm not interested in money at all, so...
You're not at all?
Not really, no.
No, so if there was somebody who was nice, who would be able to take you out to nice restaurants and maybe take you across to Paris for the weekend, something like that, maybe take you to Amsterdam, put you up in a corner suite in a nice hotel, and, you know, take you to, in November, when it's cold, you could go to Bermuda. Oh, can you imagine? You'd be lying on the beach there with the white sands, and the waves are lapping gently on the shore, and all you'd be waiting for is somebody to bring you your next cocktail. That doesn't interest you?
It'd be a bonus, but it wouldn't be my sort of prime reason for going for them. That makes sense.
I suppose. Now, I don't know whether to believe you or not, though, because, I mean, that's just the sort of thing that you would say, so as not to seem...
No, I'm really not. I'm just not that much of a money person. It doesn't particularly... As long as I can live and I can eat and I've got a roof over my head, I don't really care about the rest. It would be nice, but I'm not going to cry about it, you know?
And when you see somebody who's really rich who goes past you in, like, a sky blue Rolls Royce, something like that...
I'll probably stick my finger up at them.
Now, there you go. That's envy. So, in other words, everything that you just said is completely wrong. You are so desperate for money, it's just that you have ruled that out as a possibility in your life.
No.
And to get to that conclusion, if you had gone to see a Freudian psychoanalyst, it would have taken you 5 years. I did it in 20 seconds.
You did?
Yeah. The bill is the same, by the way.
What bill?
Well, you'll find it on your doorstep on Monday morning.
Oh.
Best of luck.
Okay.
Oh, I hope she's already bought her bus pass, because come Tuesday she won't be able to afford one.
Next on the Nick Abbot and Carol McGiffin Show. Did we tell you that?
Nick Abbot and Carol McGiffin on LBC.
The Voice of London.
Of course, the longer it goes before Madam calls, the longer she will have been at the reception of the celebrity wedding of the week, and the less sense she will make. So as the time goes on, I'm getting more and more nervous about it. Here's one in, oh, blimey, here we go again, Glasgow.
Good evening,
mate. You're no good to me in Glasgow. If everybody that listened to this show was in London and filling out radars, then this would be the most listened to show on the planet.
I was just talking about the radio. I'm thinking, how do they actually work it out? Does a wee guy sit out the studios or something and monitor it or something?
Well, what they do is they give out diaries to thousands of people, and they ask them to write down what they listen to during the week.
Oh, is it those people you see in the high street with the clipboards?
No. You actually get a physical diary to use in your house.
I've never had one.
No, me either. Nor have I ever seen or met or heard from anyone who ever has. But apparently they're out there. And what they do is, every time they listen to something, they tick off in the appropriate column what they've listened to. And it's a phenomenon that the later on in the week it goes, the less people are bothered to tick off. So
you're at the bottom, but I would imagine you're at the top, like Nick Abbott.
No, because I start on Monday, and people are very diligent on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and they're ticking it off. And by come the end of the week, especially at the weekend, it's like, oh, I can't be bothered anymore. So if you're on at the weekend,
they just leave it blank.
Well, there's a fall off in reported listening at the weekend. So that's not an excuse for the diabolical figures that I'm getting over here, but it's a recognised effect. Yeah.
So it doesn't work over the internet then, the radio?
No,
not at all.
But I believe that they have a site that you can look the figures up.
Right.
I'm not sure.
We should stop listening to you on the internet then, and move to London.
Yeah, their site is all the W's.rajar, rajar.co.uk. Now, you only appear as listening if you have got a diary.
Right.
And unfortunately, only 9 people with a diary listen to this show. Which means that they extrapolate from 9 into a few thousand, not much.
Yeah, I heard the guy talking about sports, especially cricket. Well, we have to endure cricket in Scotland. You know, why do they give it to us? You know, oh, that's my phone just about to die here.
Well, I went to school in Edinburgh, and the thing that they made us do in the summer was cricket, which
cricket.
I just couldn't figure that out at all.
Yeah, we should have a thing in Channel 4. Remember the BBC used to do this, accept viewers in Scotland?
Yeah.
We should have that.
I thought they did have a separate Channel 4 for Scotland.
Oh, no, well, when it suits them.
Is it S4C?
No, that's...
Or is that Wales?
That's Wales.
Why does Wales have their own channel and Scotland doesn't?
I've got no idea. We've got our own ITV, that's slightly different. That's like, we've got STV, you know? They kind of split.
The thing about ITV, and it's perhaps because it's just what I'm used to, but ITV in places that's not London always looks a bit, well, it's obvious, but provincial, a bit like second rate, a bit kind of, a bit cheap.
Well, it's all part of the same company, I suppose, isn't it?
Well, it is, but they're not, you know, talking to each other. It's like the BBC when they have the national news, swiftly followed by your local news.
That's right. We have BBC Scotland.
Right, and the local news, particularly if you live in London, is often exactly the same as the national news.
Yeah.
And the reason is because they don't talk to each other.
That's right.
The people who do the national news, they think they're totally up themselves and are far too important and big to be talking to the small people from the local news program. So they never discuss anything with each other, which is why you'll have one story in the national news immediately followed by the same damn story in your local news.
Yeah, that's the thing. See, cricket, you're talking about like sport getting shown in telly.
I mean, the market for cricket in Scotland must be zero.
Zero. What about table tennis on the telly? That is ridiculous.
Where do they have table tennis on TV?
Oh, they've got that in the telly. Oh, I'm sure you can dig it out, one of these Channel 5 programmes through the night. I'm sure you'll get it there, you know.
Maybe only on Eurosport, where they're so desperate to fill their time with just anything that they'd have, you know, abseiling and...
That's right, and also, what else have they got? They've got squash as well, hitting a ball against a wall. That's another thing that
I mean, squash is tennis folded over on itself.
That's right.
And tennis is kind of interesting on TV, but squash isn't because the ball doesn't actually go anywhere, and it goes, and where it goes is so fast you can't follow it.
And even badminton, you know, they've got a shuttlecock. This feather thing that you hit over a net.
It's so colossally boring to watch. Yeah, kind of interesting to play. It's okay, but you don't have to be that great because it hangs in the air quite a lot.
And yeah, the worst sport ever has got to be rugby.
Well, no, I can understand why people would want to watch rugby.
Well, I tell you, why they pass the ball back to run forward, and then they kick the ball over the bar.
Well, they've got it all, you know, arse about face in that game. The ball's not the right shape, and you know, the stamping on each other seems to be part of the game, which I don't really understand. And they pick it up. It's amazing that the referee doesn't see them do that.
Exactly.
What they should actually be doing is kicking it along the ground.
And they don't give a foul.
Yeah, where can I make a complaint?
Well, I tell you what, we're all going to move to London. So your radar figures will go up.
Well, that would be actually excellent.
Yeah.
Can you do that for me?
We'll have a wee meeting.
Super duper.
The Nick Abbot fan club will all move. We could do, like, see all the elderly people, they want to live in Glasgow or Edinburgh. We could ship them all up by...
Oh, do a little swapsy.
Yeah, you know, one of these tours, you know the tours that the Blue Rinse Brigade go on? You know, we could do this.
The tea is lovely up there. I'm sure they'd have a great time.
Yes, I'm sure they could come up here with their the net curtains and everything. And
you're the only caller that's ever made any sense on this programme. Thanks a lot, mate.
No problem.
0171 412 1152. It's LBC. I'm Nick Abbott. It's me and Carol's show, or Carol and my show. Carol and I do this show. Carol is at Zoe Ball's wedding and will be calling us from it whenever she remembers that that's what she promised to do. Here's one in Northolt. Hello.
Hi, Nick.
How you doing?
Fine, thanks. I just, before I come out with my main point, I'm doing completely the opposite. I'm actually moving away from London.
Don't do it.
I've got no choice. I go to boarding school.
Right. And where do you go to boarding school?
I go to boarding school in Worcester. I am one of the blind people.
Well, that must be Worcester. Is that quite nice and the air is clean and the birds singing in the trees and
it's boring.
Well...
It's all right when you're on the other station because I could listen to you. And even on your other station that you're on now, I can't listen to you anymore because you do a show at a really annoying time for me.
Well, it's super for me. I start work at 1. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, I know, but can't you think of all the people that just can't...
What am I? Am I here for your amusement?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah, but...
Well, listen to me on the World Wide Wait. Get a pewter for you, huh?
I can't. I could send you I can send you as many emails as I like, but I can't listen to you.
Why not?
Well, because I can't.
Well, what kind of an excuse is that? Well, because I can't. What do they teach you in this school?
No, but even if we want to, like, send emails, you have to send them to the kind of computer technician chap who sends them out, or who sends them out from there. So,
is that because it's physically impossible for you to do it, or do they check what you're saying?
I would guess...
Is it a censorship
thing?
Both. Really? They censor your mail?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
No, I don't think they censor it. I don't know if they actually look at it, but they send it for us. And so, if anyone replies to us, we have to wait for them to send it to us.
But don't you find that a dreadful impinging on your personal freedom and private life?
I'd be quite embarrassed sending you an email, actually, in case someone checked it.
That's isn't there because it's a school for teenagers, right?
Yeah.
Well, you see, high on hormones, and you'd be sending, little messages of love and affection to whoever it might be, and these have to be checked before they go out?
I think they obviously assume that our hormones only sort of go around college. They only go around school, I think.
Well, aren't you kids mad as hell? Aren't you thinking of not taking it anymore?
Well, yeah.
Well, I would complain about that. That's absolutely outrageous. No, I didn't go to a boarding school, so perhaps this is common practice like a prison, where you check it. It sounds like what you're describing, where they check everybody's mail. That sounds outrageous to me.
Oh, yeah. And also, the phone, because we like stay in boarding houses, right? And the phone room has got glass in the door, so everyone can look in at you. The door doesn't shut quite properly, so everyone can listen to what you're saying as well.
And what's the name of this place? Stalag Luft what?
I couldn't say. I couldn't say in case I'm...
I am outraged.
I'll give you a ring from there if you like, Nick, if you're sort of still on the air.
Well, if you manage to duck under the searchlights and you evade the dogs, yeah. But don't take your own life, at risk.
I've got a mobile.
Wow, okay, so yeah.
Although.
Get around the censorship by having your own form of communication. Good man.
This is another thing, Nick. I shouldn't be doing this rubbish in the school, but so what? There's another thing, right? We're not allowed to use mobile phones in any of the buildings, and they won't tell us why. But so I've got my own theory about it. It's so that the school don't lose money from us making long phone calls. Because we use payphones.
And the school gets a cut.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting theory.
Because
what you need to do is you go to the gym and hide inside one of those hobby horses and start digging. And as soon as you're out, then get into civvy clothes, and I'll meet you in Switzerland. Thanks a lot, mate. 0171 412 1152. It's LBC. I'm Nick Abbott, and here's one in Edgware.
Hi, Nick.
How you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
All right.
Good. I rang you about a year or so ago elsewhere. You probably won't remember. We were talking about the Live Stiffs album.
Stiffs Live
Stiffs album.
Yes.
And I told you how my much-loved vinyl copy had been knackered by my dog.
Really?
I found it on CD.
Did you kill that dog?
No, she died otherwise. But it wasn't my fault, though. Okay. But I found the album on CD. I thought you might want to know the codes and get hold of it yourself.
I think I might have it, actually.
Oh. I wasted half an hour to talk to you. Thanks a bunch. Like I wasn't even paying for the call, eh?
Which label is it on?
It's on Diabolo. Diabolo.
I'll note that down in case I don't happen to have it in my...
Do you want the code number as well, out of interest?
Well, I would if I actually had a pen. This is a central...
Can I hold it even longer for you?
Okay, I've come up with a pencil. It's as good as Diabolo.
Yeah, and then the actual code is DIAB851. But it's the whole album as it was originally. It's just...
I'll check it out. Does Ian Dury still say, cut out the spitting?
Is that what he says?
Yeah, except...
I never knew that's what he says.
Except he puts a swear word right in the middle of it.
Yeah,
because,
the swear word is still there.
Yeah, it used to be, that's the thing. In order to show your appreciation of a punk band, or in fact any band that happened to be playing live, that, was unfortunate enough to be playing live in 1978, you started spitting at them. I believe they did the same to the London Symphony Orchestra.
Before my time, I'm afraid. Sorry. Been can rub it in, mate, but you know. And then the other thing I wanted to ask you, maybe I've missed out on a point I've made earlier. These radar books, how does one person get them?
I don't think you can apply. I might be wrong about this, but I don't think you can apply to get one. But I think they just select people based on characteristics that would make the entire group of people selected representative of the population.
The reason I ask you, sorry to interrupt, but I ask you because a lot of people I know listen to your programme.
Yeah.
And if these numbers, if the figures are as bad as you're saying, then I'm wondering, you know, what sort of criteria one's got to meet before you get one of these blooming books.
I know. When I saw the figures, they basically when we come on, they go through the floor. There's so few people. You might as well.
Encouraging for you.
Well, yeah, it's very annoying actually. It's the only time it's ever happened to me personally. Like I know this sounds like I'm blowing my own trumpet, but every time I've ever done a talk show, the figures have always gone through the roof. And with me and Carol doing it together, I really thought that we were going to start to pull in big numbers. But unfortunately, it doesn't sit well with the people, like I said before, who ordinarily listen to this radio station. They just
You want to try and get hold of people like Mrs. Howell, Elizabeth and Cheddar and give them radar books.
Well...
And watch the figures shoot up again.
You see, they don't live in London either. So most of the people who listen to this programme either don't live in London or don't have radar books.
You should be on a national station, Nick.
Well, yeah, thanks a lot, mate.
That's all right, mate.
0171 412 1152. It's LBC. Look at this. We've got calls actually lined up. I've been going through them rat-a-tat-tat, and this is almost beginning to sound like a professional radio show.
This is a journey into sound.
We'd like to apologise for anything that Abbot and McGiffin say.
Nick Abbot and Carol McGiffin.
Come again.
Nick Giffen? No, McGiffin. Okay. Nick Abbot and Carol.
Get a new voiceover.
Carol McGiffin's personal voiceover.
Thank you.
Hello, sweetie.
Nick Abbot and Carol McGiffin on LBC, the voice of London.
0171 412 1152. Here's one in... I don't know where you are. Paul.
Hello there, it's Paul the Bedman in Woodford.
You are the bedman.
How you doing?
You are the bedman because?
Because I sell beds.
You sell beds.
Yes, and you're flying solo tonight.
Correct.
Lots of people phoning up, though.
Yeah, so far it's been a little less pathetic than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, before I get on to my main point, the lady that hadn't indulged for a year.
Yeah.
A little bit of advice for her. Stop looking for Mr. Right and settle for Mr. Right now.
Yeah.
Exactly, because, you know...
Stick to selling beds and less of the comedy.
Yeah. Anyway, your show, how to make it the big success it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically you've got two good sort of funky presenters on it, nice bit of banter. So get some big name guests, spend some money on advertising, and syndicate it through all those sad little radio stations throughout the country that have got no one listening.
Well, that's an interesting thought. Don't think that that hasn't been suggested before.
Well,
and may well happen in the future. Who knows?
It will be good.
It's, yeah, well, it's something to think about.
And why aren't you ringing Carol anyway? She said she had a mobile with her.
I don't know what her number is. Oh, I wonder if I said to her that I was going to call... No, I'm sure...
You said leave it turned on. I remember hearing it.
I'm sure that I said that she'd have to call me, because I don't know when it's appropriate to call. Because she could be, you know, flat on her back with her boobs out, with a bottle of cider hanging from her lips, and that would be the wrong time to call. She could be, you know, honking up the wedding cake, and that would be a dreadful time to call.
You think so?
So wait until she feels sober enough to take part in a professional radio show, and then we'll hear from her.
Okay, well, I hope you do hear from her shortly.
So what's the most popular bed that you're selling at the moment?
The most popular bed, they're all popular because the trade is so appalling that all the manufacturers have got good offers.
Really?
Yeah.
The bottom has dropped out in the bed market?
The bottom has dropped out. They keep telling you everyone's moving, but they're not. They're staying put, and there are not enough people getting divorced or having children, because that's always good for sales.
Isn't that interesting? You can gauge the health of the nation by what the state of the bed market is.
That's right, or they're buying computers so that they can email each other and talk about your show.
Instead of buying beds from an upstanding,
20 years in the business, respectable guy like myself.
Really? And has it ever been this bad?
It's been quiet. It's been quiet before, but not for such a prolonged period.
Because I know a chap who sells CDs as well, and he says that business, he sells them right in the smack in the middle of the West End. And he says that business is just absolutely abysmal. He's pulling his hair out over there.
Yeah, maybe people are just sort of holding on to their money.
But then, on the other hand, we keep being told by Tony and his cronies that everything's great and has never been better, and shut up and sit down.
I don't think I can remember a year when so many people in the trade have gone bust.
Really?
And also, you can gauge however much they might talk it up. You gauge how busy things are by how quick suppliers deliver. And when people who are normally on a 6-week delivery give you a 2-week delivery, you know they're not doing the business.
Because the housing market is, we read this every other day as well, it's supposed to be going through the roof, and if you want a house or a flat or anything like that, you can forget about it because there ain't none, and there's 10 people going for every property, and if you want to sell your place, then people will be virtually snatching it out of your hands, they're so desperate.
Well, if you do look in a estate agent's window, you will find about 60% of the pictures of houses have got sold next to them, so there aren't new properties coming on because everyone's being greedy and waiting for the prices to go up.
No,
anyway.
Oh, you mean to sell? Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
There you go. It's a bit serious for this light-hearted bantery type show.
I suppose so, but you led us down this path.
You asked me about bed sales.
Oh, I guess it was
Can
my
I tell
fault.
you one?
What?
A bed.
Can you sell me a bed?
Yes.
Beds are supposed to last 10 years, right?
Depends how much action they get. But turn your mattress every month and they'll last twice as long.
Right, well, I bought my bed 3 years ago, and so if it really depends on how much action it gets, then talk to me in 20 years.
Oh, well. You have a nice weekend. I hope Carol gets in touch.
Ta-ta.
God bless. Bye.
0171 412 1152.
You're listening to the boy from the big bad city.
Oh, I wanted a nice Saturday evening.
It's Nick Abbot and Carol McGiffin.
0171 412 1152. I've been very surprised and pleased with the amount of calls that have come in. This is kind of reflecting what happened last week. The calls were coming and coming and coming, but when me and Carol are here, we barely get a moment to talk to anybody else because she just never shuts up. I mean, we just never stop our witty banter. Excuse me. Oh, I have to do it again. Hang on. Gosh, that's better. 0171 412 1152. So if this response holds up over the next 2 hours, then I'm going to be skipping out of here. This will be my birthday present for tomorrow. Here's one in Walworth. Hello.
Hi, Nick.
How you doing?
I don't understand your figures, if you pardon the expression. I tried to get a certain magazine with Carol's column in it.
Yeah.
Sold out. Can't get them.
And you think it's because of the power of this program?
Well, what else could it be? I mean, there's enough advertising going on.
We've been talking about it for months.
I know. Well, my news agent said there must be something in it, he said. They sold out as soon as it came in.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And what was... I guess you didn't see it. What?
No, I haven't been able to get one.
Anybody got Woman's Journal?
No, see, I didn't want to say that.
Because I'd be curious to find out what's on the front cover. Because if it's like a naked picture of Posh and Bex, then that's the reason that it's sold out so quick.
On the front of Woman's Journal?
I don't know. I've never seen the...
No, well, no, I don't think on the front of Woman's Journal. Not the naked picture of Carol.
Oh. That's not why it's sold out so quick.
Well, I don't need people to buy the magazine. Phone in.
You know, if it did have something to do with this program, that magazine sold out so quick, and I find that very hard to believe.
Well, he said he's never sold so many.
Really?
I usually send some back. Yeah?
Well, has anybody heard it advertised anywhere else? Has there been some massive... no, me either. All right, well, it's my birthday tomorrow. I'm going to take that.
It's your birthday tomorrow?
Yeah.
Well, many happy returns for tomorrow.
Thanks a lot,
And as you say, this would be a good present if this keeps up for the next 2 hours, won't it?
Well, it will, yeah. It would be like a dream come true. But if the Woman's Journal is selling so many copies, has got anything to do with this program, we've been yakking about it continuously for the last month or so, then I want some of the money seriously, that awful woman, Carol McGiffin, is earning from that magazine. And plus, I want to go on some of the holidays that she is going on. Because
you want her job? Well, half of her job.
Oh, can you imagine how fabulous that would be?
Magic.
I don't think that she believes that it's actually happened to her, because she was always on holiday more than any other person I've ever met.
That's right.
And now... first of all, she got a column just writing about the stuff that she does, which is what she does. I mean, that's what we do here. We just talk about, basically what we do is we talk about what she's done. She starts talking at 6 o'clock, and I sit here and play in the ads, and then it's 10 o'clock, and she's barely paused for a breath.
I think you do a great programme. See, the thing is, I think a lot of people enjoy listening to you two rather than phone in.
Well, that's the idea when there's both of us here. But when it was just me talking to myself for 4 hours, then that's I would want to kill myself.
Yeah, you see, Carol has to get Mitch in, you see. She can't do it on her own.
Oh, the show?
Yeah. Well, what else? You are smutty.
Me? You're the one that took the innocent thing that I just said and twisted around into something disgusting.
All right, then. Let's not go there.
Woolworth.
It could tip the other side of Woolworth.
That's exactly where you should be. Those revolting people that live there. Where's Woolworth?
It's the South East London.
See, exactly. Is it anywhere near New Cross?
No, well, sort of, but not. I'll tell you what, it's in between Camberwell and the Elephant and Castle.
Elephant and Castle? Oh,
I know. Yeah, I know.
Is there a more hideous place on the face of the planet than Elephant and Castle?
Oh, no, I'll blow it up and start again. If it was me, especially, it's red now. But
is it red? It used to be bright pink.
I know, it's red now. It was painted red for Red Nose Day.
You're kidding.
No.
You are kidding.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
And they thought that would be amusing.
It was. I couldn't stop laughing when I saw it.
Elephant and Castle. There's no colour that they could paint that thing to make it not hideous.
It is hideous.
It's incredible that a human being actually came up with that.
I mean, well, the rumour went round, and again, this cannot be true, that the people who bought the franchise, bought the centre, were called Pinkies.
Perfect. I think I'm going to pay Saddam Hussein to send some of his minions over to specifically blow that up.
Oh, it's horrible. Isn't it horrible?
The only good thing about it is the buses... The only good view is in the back of the window of the bus as you depart and go somewhere nice.
Yeah.
This is the Voice of London on 11:52 a.m. LBC News.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm Nick Qureshi.
LBC weather.
Right, it really was a fantastic day, wasn't it? We were waiting so long for it. It's going to be relatively chilly tonight, 10 centigrade, that's 50 Fahrenheit in town, 8 centigrade, 46 outside. The fine spell of weather is going to continue tomorrow. How fabulous. It's like a birthday present from God. Bright day in store, some light easterly wind. A little light easterly wind. All over town, 70 degrees, 21 Celsius. That's something else outside of town. But we don't care about them, do we?
LBC travel.
Loughton Chigwell Lane is closed after an accident either side of the M11 at Junction 5 with no access from Rolls Park Corner, the M11 or Oakwood Hill. Hopefully that'll reopen in about half an hour's time though. The A127 South End Arterial Road between the M25 and Hall Lane delays a possible westbound approaching the lights at Squirrels Heath Road. Uxbridge Road between Shepherd's Bush Green and Ealing Common has westbound delays due to the sheer weight, and northbound queues on the 406 between Ealing Common and Hanger Lane Gyratory. In Bedford Park, Acton Lane has been closed after an accident. It shuts both ways between Somerset Road and Steel Road. That's due to a crash by Berrymead Road. And on the M25 junction 9 to 10, an overturned heavy lorry between Leatherhead and the A3 clockwise. The lorry has fallen over on the hard shoulder. The inside lane is closed. That doesn't seem to be causing too many delays. Overground, Sutherland County trains between Watford and St Albans, there's no service. On the underground, delays on the District and Piccadilly lines. And the Bakerloo line has no service between Queen's Park and Harrow and Wealdstone. That's after a signal failure earlier on.
Oh no.
Daniel G at AA Vodafone Road Launch for LBC Travel.
Oh, man, you did that so perfectly. You could be a trained professional. As the countdown on our music here ended at 0, you finished.
Well, didn't I?
It's absolutely perfect.
It's the weather.
It must have been a fluke.
It's Nick Abbot and Carol McGiffin. On LBC, the Voice of London, and Carol McGiffin, 0171 412 1152.
So we got your losing lottery numbers, which will be coming up as soon as the balls drop. The balls dropped yet? Not yet, no. 0171 412 1152. It's Nick Abbott and Carol McGiffin. Carol McGiffin is taking the day off again and is at Zoe Ball's wedding, where she will call us, or from where she will call us, as soon as the bar dries up. Here's one in Hendon. Hello.
Hi there, Nick.
How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Great, mate.
Happy birthday for tomorrow.
Oh, thank you very much.
I'm a fellow Leo.
Are you? And what does that mean?
It means we're wonderful.
Oh, yeah. Now, what does it mean?
It means we're exhibitionists.
Oh, I'm not.
I think you're
Quite the reverse.
Are you?
No, not at all. I hate taking all my clothes off in public.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean exhibitionism.
But I don't like to be looked at. Like, I know I'm not an exhibitionist. Like, I would be rubbish on television, for instance, unless I was just reading the auto cue or something like that. Where I'm actually having people look at me, oh, no.
Oh, well, anyway.
I don't even like people looking at me on the tube. You know, the old tubes where they have not the seats that go along the outside of the edge, but the ones that are benches for two facing each other?
Yeah.
I don't even like to sit on those because you're just too close to somebody looking right at you.
Oh. Well, you're supposed to have lots of confidence.
I don't have any confidence. I have absolutely zero self-confidence.
But you're doing a radio program.
Yeah, but I'm sitting in here in a room on my own with, and I'm talking to this black thing in front of me. This is not a human being I'm talking to. I'm talking to you on the phone. You don't need self-confidence for that.
Okay, then. Well, I rang to say that I would be a media dream because I love television, I love radio, I love sport, and I should definitely have one of those book things.
You should have one of those books.
I drew the line when I put on Eurosport and I saw tractor pulling and indoor surfing.
What?
In a pool with fake waves.
Indoor surfing?
Absolutely.
No, I've seen indoor windsurfing.
Yeah, indoor windsurfing.
Windsurfing is what it was, right.
It's unbelievable.
Well, you know, when you've got a channel that's 24 hours a day sport and you don't actually have any major football rights. I mean, I think they've got Championship League, something like that, but they don't have Premier League. They don't...
Eurosport?
Yeah.
Well, they really... They do European football, and they do a lot of the tennis, which is why I've got it, because I like the tennis.
Yeah, basically they're just scraping around to put anything on, otherwise there's just going to be a blank screen. And that's why they're coming up with indoor tractor pulling, yeah.
That tractor pulling is stunning.
Or,
see it.
And what's perfect for them is something that lasts a really long time that doesn't actually cost very much to cover, like cycling.
Oh, the Tour de France they do, don't they?
Oh, we were talking about cricket a little while ago, and Channel 4, again, guilty for putting the cycling on.
But I like the cricket.
You do?
I do.
Now, what is it about it that you like?
I never used to like it, but...
You like it that it's slow and nothing ever happens?
It's soporific.
Yeah.
And as you say, you can do anything in the room, you know, at the same time. You don't have to concentrate. 10 years ago, I knew nothing about cricket, and for a short period of time, I worked for a famous cricketer, so I had to learn very quickly.
Which famous cricketer? I probably would never have heard of him.
Yes, you would.
Geoffrey Boycott?
No.
That's the only one I've ever heard of.
Philip Edmonds.
Who?
Phil Edmonds.
Phil Edmonds.
Yeah. Husband of Francis. Ex-husband of Francis.
Okay, well, I've known so little about him that I'm not going to ask you anything because I'm not really very interested. Unless he was, you know, like a cross-dresser or something like that.
Possibly, but I wouldn't know. Anyway, so I got into cricket, and I like it, and I love football, and I love tennis. Actually, only live sport. I don't like watching, stuff that you know the result of and things like that.
No, of course.
But I like sport, and I love the television, and I love the radio.
Now, do you actually do sport?
No.
Or does that would be too much like joining in?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But
so you're a voyeur?
Of sport. I love music and I love phone-ins, and I think the media, as it is today, is wonderful.
Because there's ample opportunity for people who don't actually want to join in and do anything to, watch other people do it. So
yeah, and I have the radio on at work if I have LBC on sometimes or whatever. You just hear it in the background. I mean, I have the television picture on and the radio on.
See, now, I don't think that this station is something to listen to. I don't think it's a comfortable listen in the background. It doesn't seem like sensible.
It does. You get to pick up the newsy bits and the weathery bits, or whatever the sports, whatever you want.
And the thing with a talk station is that it's foreground. It's something that you listen to rather than hear as a background.
Yeah, but when you're at work. Well, I've got the television on and the radio on, but
you do?
Yeah,
what do you do?
I'm in the music business.
You're in the music business?
You can't participate because you're at work and all the phones are ringing, so you can't really ring up because it's rude.
Of course, yeah. Now, what do you do in the music business? Go on, tell me what you do.
Video production.
Video production.
And direct response.
Saucy
CD
videos?
Compilations. You can't buy these in the shops. You know those ones.
Oh. Yes, you can't buy these in the shops, but...
Phone this number.
Yeah.
And we'll send them to you.
If our operators are engaged, please call later. But
no, we don't actually do the selling. We do the compiling and the clearing, the rights clearances, and compile the concepts.
And so the people that write the songs are actually getting money from you, or is there some, like, shady underground?
No, they're all originals. Okay. I can't say it because I always muck it up, but it's... I can't even say it. What's the word? Digitally remastered. I can't say it.
You're in the business and you can't even tell me what you...
I can't. I always get it down the wrong way. They're all originals. They're not live and they're not copies. They're all originals. So
digitally remastered. Now, do you remember the old Top of the Pops albums with a woman in hot pants on the front, and there were copies?
Yeah, they were all Pickwick records.
Yeah, that's right. They were copies of songs that were in the by Piccadilly Witch.
Yeah.
And Middle of the Road and bands like that. But they weren't actually by the band. They were by some bunch of chancers that they just round up from the local pub.
Yeah, no, ours are all original, 100% original. Because otherwise they don't sell.
And you're kind of in the back end of the music business, aren't you? You're not in the glamorous end, like...
Not the glamorous end at all, no. I mean,
or something like that. You are busy there scraping the bottom of the barrel.
No, it's very successful.
You're kind of like you're kind of like one of these people that you pass in the street who's going through the rubbish bins.
Not at all. Not at all.
Did you ever pick anything out of a rubbish bin and eat it?
No.
Really?
No. No. Definitely not. Absolutely not. You wanted a useless piece of information now you mentioned those Pops albums? The man who ran that company, Pickwick, invented the roller that you can put paint on with.
Is that right?
It is. How's that for useless?
Well, the old K-Tel things, they used to come out with some fantastic...
oh, God!
Of course.
The bubble thingy.
It is exactly what I was thinking of.
The de-bubbler.
Yeah, you can shave your jumpers with this fabulous new thing. You know it's what... Fuzz away, that's right. And you know that's what Mother wants for Christmas.
But they did what were those other ghastly things they did? They did lots of those things.
Oh, there was a thing that you stapled buttons on with. Do you remember those?
No.
Yeah, instead of sewing your button on, you stapled it on with a little plastic... It was kind of like a staple gun.
I don't remember that one. No. They were terrible, terrible adverts.
It was K-Tel and Ronco.
Ronco. And then, of course, Victor Cayenne stepped in.
That's right. Thank God for Victor.
Yeah.
Liked it so much, he
bought the company.
Bought the whole company, yeah.
K-Tel still do music. They don't do bobblers anymore, I don't think.
Are they the people that have got those mini razors that you stick in your ear?
Pardon?
So for old geezers who have the hair coming out their ears, you stick them in your ear and they take care of it?
I don't know any old geezers.
You don't?
There is, no.
Well, you must be familiar with the amount of hair that starts sprouting out of every part of you the older you get.
Well, I haven't got hair coming out my ears.
Really? You have hair coming out of your nose?
No, I'm a lady.
Huge, luxurious amounts of hair that's sprouting out. Have you ever put your head back and checked in the mirror? I mean, have you done that lately?
No, I don't do that very often.
Well, you should check it out. You might be...
yeah. I thought it was just a man's thing.
No, there might be an enormous bush in each nostril. People are probably looking away, disgusted at what's coming out of your nose.
Not yet. I'm too young for that, I think.
That's the reason why you haven't got on in your business.
I have got on in my business. It's brilliant. It really is. It's terrific business. And I'd like to meet a man who is good looking, but he doesn't have to have money.
Because you've got loads of it?
I've got money. I'm comfortable.
Well, hallelujah.
But I don't want to support him.
You don't want to support him?
No. Well, he doesn't have to be rolling in money.
Well, how would it be that if
But he has to be quite attractive.
But how would it be if he was younger and he didn't have any money, and you could be in
charge? A toy boy.
You could be in charge.
A toy boy.
Wouldn't that be great?
My very own toy boy.
Yeah, you could tell him what to do. You could, send him down to get you the groceries. You could do the ironing. You could make him do the ironing naked. You could make him do anything you like, because you're the one with the money.
Oh, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that.
But think about it. It might be fun.
Do you think so?
Of course.
No.
Like,
But I'll tell you something.
like it's a wet Sunday, you've got nothing else to do.
I'll watch the football.
You could have him, clean the house in hot pants.
Yeah. But I'll tell you something which frightened me today. I was watching the cricket, and there's this New Zealand player who's really quite cute, and he's 20.
And how old are you?
I'm about your age.
Well, that's disgusting.
I know. No, I couldn't believe it.
There's nothing wrong with that. All
He
this
was
kind
very
of spring and autumn stuff, there's nothing wrong with it.
You think so?
Of course.
But a 20-year-old chap wouldn't, in all honesty, be interested in a late 30-something woman.
You don't know that. A 20-something chap might be...
And he's not 20 anything. He's 20.
20, okay. You might be right up his street.
Do you think so?
Of course, because you are in the first bloom of your... in the full bloom of your sexuality right now.
I am?
Of course. And so's he. It's like you were made to be together.
Well, what should I do, Nick?
Well, I'm going to take you off the air. I'm going to get your number and I'm going to send it to him.
Oh, will you?
Of course.
Oh, please.
I'll tell him it's that,
Bet you don't.
I'll tell him it's that desperate woman in Hendon on the line.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks a lot. I've got to go.
Take care.
0171 412 1152.
Abbot and McGiffin.
Let's talk about... okay, you decide.
Nuts on Saturday. Abbot and McGiffin on LBC.
What a pair.
Less of the fun.
Right, now this is beginning to worry me now. I've only got 2 calls lined up, and we did have a luxury of lots of calls in the bag up until this point. Now, don't start deserting me now, because you've been absolutely fantastic. I know there's precious few of you, but you've been putting in a tremendous effort. So it's 0171 412 1152, because I'm on my own until what's-her-name calls in. Here's one in Barnet. Hello.
Hello, Nick.
Betty.
I started listening to your program right at the beginning and couldn't understand why you never had any callers. And I said, this is a stupid show, you know, I'm not going to listen to that.
Yeah.
But you've grown on me. And I listen to it every blasted week now.
Like a wart, I've grown on you.
Yeah, and I have plenty of those, thank you. But I've really phoned up to give you a ticking off.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of those very old people with grey hair, not purple rinsed, and I certainly don't go to bed at 8 o'clock. I still do a vast amount of travelling, and I'm nearly 83, so don't class us all as has-beens. Because we're not.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yes.
Why do old women have purple hair?
I can't bear it, so I don't.
No, but, well, what is that? What is that about?
I think it's some people. I think if you have fair hair and you go grey, it goes a bit sort of yellowy. Right. I have very dark hair, so it's gone a rather nice shade of grey, and I don't say this with any conceit. And I think that's why they do it, to cover up the yellow. But I couldn't bear it. I just have it washed. I mean, I would do it myself.
And the yellow hair kind of makes it look as though they smoke too much?
Probably, but I think it's even with people who didn't smoke. Because I had a friend now dead. All my friends are now dead, sadly, as is my darling husband. And the ones with the fair hair, I've noticed, have always got this yellowy look, which is not very nice. But mine just stays sort of dark grey, if you know what I mean.
And why do women... Why did they select purple?
What did they what?
Why purple?
Well, I don't know. I think that's the colour. Of course, it's called pearl grey. And then it turns out to be... I've seen the things on the bottles when I used to go to the hairdresser, which I don't bother with anymore.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Why? I mean, it's kind of like a bluey purple thing.
Yes, I suppose I don't know whether they can't get something to cover the grey. And I think it's silly because it's a horrible colour.
But of all the colours in all the world, why do they
what else can you use, you see? You can't... If you dye... My hair was always dark. I was a brunette, so, I mean, I couldn't bear to have this sort of pale blondie look.
Yeah, but why not black, for instance?
No, black, when you're older, it makes you look too hard. And then you've got all this business of the roots growing out.
Right, kind of like a Ronald Reagan type of thing.
I hate it. No, Ronald Reagan's hair's all right, isn't it? I think it's quite a nice colour. Oh, no, not Ronald Reagan, sorry. I'm thinking of that other.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan had this hair that was so black it made it look like...
Yeah, but it's horrible. I can't stand men with hair going grey that dyed black because it's so obvious.
Yeah.
As you grow older, the colour of your skin changes, and then the black looks hideous.
What does it change to?
Well, it changes colour. I've been told that.
To what?
Well, just shades of... You get pale white, dark white, any other white, whatever colour skin you've got. And they say the colour of your skin changes.
I did not know that.
Well, that's what I was told. I mean, I still look, I think, fairly normal, with a few more extra wrinkles than I used to have. But I think I've still got all my marbles, although I'm, you know, getting a bit osteoarthritis and arthritis-y now.
Well, listen, anytime for the wrinkles, if you ever get a picture taken, have it taken flat on your back, okay? And then then the skin will be sucked onto your bones.
I don't
and you'll look years younger.
I don't want to look years younger. I don't mind being the age I am, because I've had a fabulous life, and my husband was a real musician, not one of these girls who works in the office.
Of course, if you...
We travelled the world, and I had a wonderful life for 54 years.
And if you hang upside down while you're having a picture taken, then the years will just fall off you.
Well, I'm not going to hang upside down, because nobody can see me anyway.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Listen, I've just seen Zoe Ball's wedding. But I didn't see a sign of Carol McGiffin.
What, it was on the news?
Yeah, just a few minutes ago.
Oh, no, missed it.
She was in white with purple and blue, or blue and white flowers in her hair, kissing her husband just as they got into a car to drive up to the mansion where they're having the party, I suppose.
Fantastic. Well, we'll get the word right from the horse's mouth.
There you are, you see.
Thanks a lot, dear.
People have still got their marbles.
I guess.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Have
Bye-bye.
a nice time.
0171 412 1152. Here is one in Edinburgh.
Hey there, Nick.
It's our other Edinburgh call. How you doing?
I'm great. A big happy birthday from the chat room.
Oh, thank you very much.
So we can all change colour now. What colour are you?
Kind of like a bluey white at the moment. I've got my moon tan on. Yes.
I can change my colour at will.
So what's been going on in Edinburgh?
Well, I did see something in Edinburgh. I just promise. It was nothing big.
Yeah.
But in fact, it was nothing at all. There was one of the free things.
Right, so
people.
To recap, you live in Edinburgh.
Yes.
You're one of these callers. Most of my audience is outside of London.
That's 3 Scotch people already.
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, our audience seems to be building in Scotland more than it is in London. That's true. We get more calls every week, coming from Scotland than we do new calls from London. This is so depressing. I've got your losing lottery numbers, by the way, talking about depressing. But you live in, you're a beautiful Edinburgh, and you, until I bullied you into going out and seeing something, you had never once gone to anything in the festival, am I right?
Well, apart from to see Lee and Herring a couple of years ago. I generally tend to avoid it, because I just don't like.
But you know what? I don't think that counts, because they're TV comics, aren't they? So that doesn't actually... count. Do you know what I mean? That's taking the chicken's way out. You should launch in there and do something that you that you aren't already familiar with. Because Lee and Harry, I mean, you don't need Edinburgh Festival to go and see some comics that are already on TV. You should go and do something that's only ever going to be in Edinburgh at that time.
Well, I don't know if there's anything I really fancy. I mean,
that is just... do you understand how ridiculous that sounds? It's one of the world's greatest festivals of the performing arts, and you're telling me that there's nothing that you fancy? They've got everything there from opera to stand-up comedy, and all points in between, and nothing interests you?
Okay, I admit, I can't be bothered.
Exactly, you can't be bothered. Yeah. You're one of these... You're old before you... How old are you?
18.
18. See, now... Yeah. Oh. Where do I even begin to tell you how crap you are? 18. Now, I understand that, when you're a teenager, all you want to do is stay in bed and fester in this stinking pit that you call home.
Yes, that's correct.
But, eventually you will, when you grow up and reach 20, then you'll find that there's a whole world out there, and you don't have to spend your entire life not washing your socks and being in bed all the time.
Well, that's my excuse. I've yet to discover my life.
And I guess that, I don't know whether you've noticed this, but being a teenager, you probably haven't. Edinburgh is a fantastically beautiful place. I grew...
I think it's beautiful.
Really?
I wouldn't move away.
Because I spent 3 years in Edinburgh, went to school there, and until I went back as an adult, I had got no idea how beautiful a place it was, because I spent my entire time staring at the ground, being glum.
Oh, well, I've always been in Edinburgh, and I think it's lovely.
Because I think that's what teenagers do. They, they have this great dark cloud over them, and they go around staring at the pavement.
Well, yeah.
and
true.
And curling their lip. That's about as exciting as they get. But when you get over that, then you'll start to experience life. So what did you do at Edinburgh Festival?
Well, I sort of wandered around the centre. Went up the high street. There was a couple of performers, but the real stars, I thought, were a blind man with a keyboard and a blind woman with a sort of a big huge book full of Braille song words. And they were performing Believe by Cher.
Of all the songs in all the world, it had to be Believe by Cher. Probably the worst song that's ever been written. And one of the biggest selling records of all time.
And they've come out for the festival, but I've seen them before. This must have been about the 5th time. 4 times in Edinburgh, and once when I went off to Glasgow, they were there. And every single time, they were doing Believe. Every single time I pass them, she's there singing, I did talk you, however it goes.
In a Scottish accent?
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anything worse. Does she do where Cher's voice goes funny at the end of the song?
They don't have one of those, unfortunately, but, well, I thought it was very impressive. I went for them being...
Oh, this is what you're saying that you saw at the Edinburgh Festival? I thought that you were going to tell me on the way to, a poetry reading, then here's something interesting.
No.
That's it.
Interesting as it got, I'm afraid.
So you were walking along the street. That doesn't count as going to the festival. You're trying to pull the wool over my eyes? Who are you trying to kid?
But I do have some gossip. Some news.
Gossip? Before you do that, by the way, I'm going to give out the lottery numbers in a minute, but now I'm at the position... with an hour and a half to go, where I haven't got any stinking calls, like, at all. I know there's not many people listening, but you are a select and relatively young bunch. Get on the phone. That's the wrong way.
I can do it.
That's the wrong way to say it. Aggression doesn't usually pay, because people are scared to come on anyway. So, this is all we do. We just chat. And I'm going to be here till 10, and it's my birthday tomorrow, so you've got to help me out. Normally I'll sit here and talk to Carol for 4 hours, and it doesn't matter whether anybody calls.
And where's she?
She's at Zoe Ball's wedding.
But colleague has not phoned in yet.
Yeah, I guess she's got a good long while.
More booze too.
Yeah, there'll be plenty more booze. I wonder if the booze will be free all night, because I've been to weddings where I've been to a very like a very famous person's wedding, which was and they had like more money than you could possibly think of.
How famous?
And about halfway through the night, you went up to the bar, and suddenly you had to pay for the drinks. I couldn't believe it. And it was put on by not a millionaire, a billionaire. And about halfway through the night, suddenly the bar was charging. I was stunned. So I was standing behind somebody from Warner Brothers or CBS or something like that, and they said, we'll have a bottle of this and a bottle of that, and put it on Dave's tab, will you? And I thought, And I said, I'll have this and this and this and this and this, just put it on Dave's tab. And they go, yes, sir. So that was me sorted for the night.
It'd be wonderful if you could just say that for anything.
Put it on Dave's tab, yeah. Tell him Nick said so.
Just put it all on Dave.
Now, either we've got absolutely nobody listening now at all, or they're listening and they don't have anything to say. Like, nothing happened to them at all this week. Like, they didn't go through the centre of town and they saw that it was all pedestrianised, and they don't have an opinion about that. Well, they didn't see anything on TV this week that was, that they found annoying or exciting and shocked and stunned them.
Oh, well, I should be the prime example of how you don't need to have anything to talk
about. Yeah, this guy's got nothing to talk about, and he's been on for like 5 minutes.
I saw some people, blind people, doing a Cher song.
Yeah, and that's his whole thing. And it's 0171 412 1152. Don't make me walk out on a show just before my birthday.
So you're going to do the numbers, and then I can tell you my festival news.
Okay. Here are those stinking lottery numbers. Now, what is it with this game? I mean, really, how stupid do we have to be to keep playing this thing over and over?
You could always not play.
Well, I suppose.
I mean, I've never played it. I just don't see the point.
Here are your losing numbers. 12, 15, 16, 17. I'm not making this up. I know, I'm not making it up. 12, 15, 16, 17. I've got 18.
Oh, dear.
I mean, you know, how... and every week it's the same damn thing. How does that happen? The last two are 42 and 48. And it doesn't make no difference. Nobody listening to this has won like a penny. I won £10 twice since the start of this thing here. So it's 12, 15, 16, 17, 42, 48. Your boner ball is 45. Like that makes any difference. And there's another pound down the drain. I might as well just take my pound and throw it away.
Who wins the draws like that? I mean, because who is going to pick 15, 16...
I know, yeah, it's... yeah, I don't know.
The lucky draw. The automatic number picker.
It's going to be somebody who lives in a council flat, and they're going to treat themselves to a crate of brown ale and tell those that it's not going to change their life anymore. Although, have you noticed that the press aren't interested in people who win the lottery anymore? When the game first started, it was like the tabloids were competing with each other to see see if they could find the winner first, and you know, preferably it was going to be from a household where the I can't remember what the royal family, not a disrupted household. What do they call it? Not disfigured. Something. Think, boy.
A disgruntled.
No. Oh, no. When you're trying to think of a word and you can't make my brain explode. What the hell is the word? Help me. Dysfunctional.
Dysfunctional, yeah.
Oh, what a relief. It's usually like a dysfunctional family. Let me say it, I'll say it 3 times. A dysfunctional family.
Do you remember the big thing when it started, and it was, like, I think it was a 20 million rollover, and there was a big thing with the papers, they'd found the house, and they, like, were blacking out the house on the front page. And there was a big thing over a couple of days.
No, I don't remember that, but what I have noticed is that the press are now not remotely interested in anybody that wins the lottery.
They don't care.
We've moved on to what exactly? What have we moved on till now? I guess the press run in packs because, you know, there's just like everything. Nobody's got any ideas, so they just all follow each other. And they're all following each other now with the rip-off prices in Britain because, you know, one journalist started a year or so ago, and then somebody else thought, oh, well, yeah, maybe we'll go with this. And then suddenly there was a whole wagon load of people who were all saying the same damn thing. And so that's what they're on now. And, you know, some kid will get bitten by a dog, and then it'll be devil dogs for a couple of weeks. And then it'll be, it's always the same thing. And then it's not a lack of kids that are getting bitten by dogs or a lack of people that are winning the lottery now. It's just that it's the same as they were before when it was all over the press. It's just that they're not interested in it anymore. It's like old news. It all goes in fashion. Like I say, you know, these people who do newspapers, they've got to do an entire thing from scratch every day. I mean, what kind of a business is that? That must drive you out of your mind. You've got to come up with... you know, some tripe just to fill in the spaces between the ads every single day. It's enough to make you go mad.
Unless you've got something really big that you can put on pages 1 to 17.
Yeah, like the eclipse, for instance. Wasn't that great? Yeah.
Oh, yes, that was well,
the letdown of the century, that was.
It was.
So anyway, you were going to say one final thing before you part.
One thing about the festival. Yeah, you know, last week you were saying how the buskers were being... cleared. Did you say they were being cleared off the...
Yeah, is that not right?
Yes, but they're hitting back. They're getting their own back at the bagpipers now, complaining that they're polluting the streets with noise, and they're saying that the buskers have the cheek to say that they think bagpipers should have to pass proficiency tests before they're allowed to go and blow their instrument in public.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
I mean,
buskers have to pass proficiency tests. I mean, I think in the centre of London, you don't just get to show up and play in places like Covent Garden and that. You're vetted. And you have, you know, specific times at which you show up and then leave. So, yeah, and as pipers should too. But the thing with the bagpipes is, how can you tell the difference between somebody who can and can't play?
Exactly.
It's all just a cacophony of hideous noise.
Noise. But the tourists love it, so they have to keep it.
All right, listen, thanks, Chris. It was a little update from our friend beyond the border.
Yeah, I may call from Blackpool when I'm on holiday next week.
Oh, really? Well, that'll be exciting for you.
So, well,
maybe.
So I may or may not call, one of the two.
All right, ta-ra.
Cheerio.
0171 412 1152. Go away, come back.
It's Nick Abbott and Carol McGiffin. 0171 412 1152.
So far, no call from Her Majesty, who is hobnobbing with people much more important than her. Carol McGiffin is at Zoe Ball's wedding, and I don't know, I'm almost giving up hope that she's going to call, because you've got to think by this time, I mean, what time would a wedding start? You sort of show up about 1 o'clock? She's been drinking for, it's like 7 hours continuously. She'd be able to function like a normal human being and make a phone call? And I doubt it. She probably won't even be able to find her phone. If I could remember her phone number off the top of my head, then I would call her, but, that's beyond my ability. Here's one in Buckinghamshire.
Hi, Nick.
How you doing?
All right. Oh, I wonder if Carol's having as much fun as I had in that German wedding last couple of weeks ago.
This is one of our net nerds.
Yeah.
What wedding?
I was in Germany a couple of weeks ago, and I called you from a wedding over in Germany.
Did you?
Yeah.
I remember nothing that happens either on this show or, in life in general.
Well, Carol didn't believe me. She thought I was calling from my bedroom or something with some loud music in the background. But...
So you were at a German wedding?
That's right.
And how was that?
It was interesting, quite nice. It was in southern Germany, just outside Munich. And it's a lovely place.
Now, my knowledge of geography is similar to my knowledge of history, which is to say, nothing. Now, is that anywhere near the Black Forest?
I'm not sure. It's down the south, near the Czech border and Austria down there.
Right, that doesn't help me either. So was there bands playing? Lots of steins of lager flowing?
Yeah, that kind of thing. And
They had an band?
Well, they had lots of traditional sort of things there.
Were there men in lederhosen slapping their thighs?
At one point, I think. But it was also a Scottish wedding as well. Sort of Scottish German thing. So we had some bagpipes going as well.
Blimey, how bizarre must that have been?
And the weird thing was that the bagpipe bloke was actually German.
I've seen like a Japanese, wasn't it, Edinburgh Festival at the, what do they call the tattoo? I think the bagpiper at the end was Japanese. Or was I hallucinating? Perhaps I'd fallen asleep.
Oh, I've got an interesting fact for you, Nick.
I doubt it.
Oh, yeah, this is. Well, my friend told me yesterday that sugar glows when it's crushed. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
So I've been in the cupboard for the last half an hour crushing sugar, trying to see if it glows.
And?
Oh, it does just about, but you've got to sit in the cupboard for a long time so your eyes get really adjusted to the dark. And it's kind of a bluey, greeny glow.
That's very dangerous.
Yeah, it's kind of worrying when you think you eat this stuff. It's like glowing as you crunch it in your teeth.
Huh. Well, it's giving off the radiation that's making you sick. Do you find that your hair is receding slightly? It's a little less hair than you used to have, am I right?
Yeah, you get the same effect with envelopes when you pull them apart.
Envelopes glow when you pull them apart?
Yeah, so if you got ones with the self-seal envelopes,
yeah,
you go into a dark room and pull it apart, it glows quite brightly.
Is that right?
Yeah. That's something to try tonight, isn't it?
I have to think that you, I don't know, should get out more. You sit on a Saturday night in a cupboard crushing sugar just to see it glow. Or even just, turn the TV on. Anything but that.
I'll listen to you.
That is the most pathetic, I mean this in a nice way, but that's the most pathetic thing I think I've ever heard. And and when you've done with crushing the sugar, for real excitement, you take some envelopes in the cupboard. You're a very special and unique human being. Don't let anybody tell you any different.
Anyway, before I go,
Yeah.
I thought you'd like to know about nickabbot.com, the number of hits it gets.
Go on.
Well, it's between 400 and 500 a week.
A week?
Yeah.
So in other words, more people than listen to this program.
Well, so, I mean, you think about it. I mean, it's not bad, is it?
It's amazing considering that nobody actually knows that I'm over here.
Yeah. I mean,
because I think the audience that listen to this, like, as I mentioned before, don't listen to anything else on this station, like at all. When they appear in a column, in an H column that doesn't register on any other show. So they must specifically come in just to listen to us, and they're in such small numbers that I think that they just followed us from word of mouth from another place. Because there's no there would be no way for anybody to tell that we were here but for word of mouth. I mean, we're not exactly on the side of buses, and there's no TV advertising because this show is, in the great scheme of things, totally unimportant.
But, I mean, LBC should be happy because, you got these extra listeners that wouldn't be there otherwise, would they?
Well, an interesting way to look at it. I doubt that that's the way that they're looking at it.
But I think you should definitely look at this, what do you call it, syndicate idea.
What, to do the show together and then syndicate it over
yeah, because,
to all these tiny little local radio stations.
I mean, someone else did it, back in a few years ago, didn't they?
Who?
Someone from the other station.
Oh, really? No, I know almost nothing about this business, but I'll...
While you had your other show.
Well, without mentioning any names.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, well, listen, thanks for the good news.
Okay, then.
0171 412 1152. It's LBC, Nick Abbott, not Carol McGiffin, although we are expecting her to make some drunken contribution before we go. Here's one in East Dulwich.
Hi.
Hello, Sharon.
Hi.
How you doing?
All right. I just thought, listening to your last caller there about the sugar, I can be even more pathetic than that.
No, it's not possible.
Absolutely. I'm absolutely addicted to Sunset Beach.
Like I said, you are more pathetic than Sunset Beach.
I never, ever thought this would happen to me, but...
That's the program that lasts about 4 hours a day, isn't it?
Yeah. And you get the Saturday Omnibus.
Yeah, the Saturday Omnibus, which lasts 36 hours.
That's right. I never thought it would happen to me, but I find myself taking the dog out in the morning and rushing back so I can watch it.
You've got to wean yourself off that program.
I've got to. The thing is, I think it's a kind of like, the guy I like in it is the...
It's a sexual thing?
Yeah, Antonio.
You just can't... you couldn't control you. You couldn't say his name and not start laughing, could you?
You know what I've done as well? I've actually wrote to him, but I'm really, really bad because I've wrote it in my daughter's name.
This just gets worse and worse. Don't you understand that program is probably about 10 years old and he's just some fat old geezer now with his feet up and a beer on his belly?
I know, but the worse it is...
Watching reruns of Sunset Beach and wishing that he were that good looking again.
The worse it gets, the more I want to watch it, I'm just like, I can't tell any of my friends that I watch it because they'd be like, oh my God, but then, you never know, maybe they're watching as well.
There's like some sort of a secret society of people that watch Sunset Beach on Channel 5.
And the other thing I must tell you, Nick...
Now, before we leave, before we get on to another thing...
Right.
Now, you sort of hinted that it was so bad, that's why you like it.
Yes.
But no, that doesn't wash. That's not the reason why you're watching it. You're actually excited by the plot lines, am I right? Whatever they might be. I mean, like, just for
Have you ever watched it?
No, just... I'd go buy it. When you click up and you go past Channel 5...
Right, yeah.
You think, oh, blimey, it's Sunset... And any time of the day or night, it's always Sunset Beach on Channel 5.
I know, but, I just can't help it, especially the little boy that's in it at the moment. He's just got to be the best little actor I've ever seen.
So what's the basic plot line at the moment?
At the moment, well, there's a kidnapping that went wrong. somebody's about to leave somebody, and somebody's about to fall in love with somebody, and then the one that I like, the vicar,
He's a vicar?
Sorry?
The one that you're lusting after is a vicar?
He's a vicar, a priest, sorry. And he's fallen in love with his brother's fiancée, and they were just about to get married, and the mother, who is a tarot reader, it gets worse, doesn't it?
Well, so basically, we've just had the plot line from the last, and I imagine that it's...
they draw it out unbelievably.
Yeah, and nothing ever happens. So, so that'll be the plot line.
Come on, please tell him, and there's these long glances at each other, and you just go...
You've got to stop watching it, Sharon. Trust me on this.
What happened to me?
Go cold turkey, don't watch the omnibus this weekend, and just say, that's it, I've finished. Now, you might spend a couple of weeks, with foam coming out of your mouth and bouncing off the walls of your padded cell, but in the end, you'll thank me, okay?
I will. But can I tell you just one thing?
You're going to have to be really quick.
Okay. I was absolutely stupid, and I looked at the sun with the eclipse, and my eyesight's so much better now.
Gotta go.
Thanks for talking to us, Nick.
0171 412 1152. Oh, what? She's gone. We have a celebrity on line 8. It's that Gibbon woman. Hello?
Hello?
Carol.
Call me back, you...
Hey, you're...
Call me back, you call it...
Carol, you're...
You're not calling me back.
Carol, you're speaking to Nick. You're on the air.
I know.
Calm down.
Call me back.
Call her back.
Back, because I'm on my mobile phone. My mobile phone.
Stop.
£10 million a minute.
Stop speaking. I'm going to put you back. He doesn't know what your number is.
Yeah, well, I'll give it to him, but
All right.
I went to Carol.
Oh, God. Just take her. Just take her away. Whew. So that's just exactly what I expected. A little more lively than I expected. I don't know. Do we want to take this call? It might be... every show might be the last, so I guess we might as well just chuck everything in it and see how it comes out. Which line is she on? She's on line 16 now. She's flying around this board like a bee. Carol, the Gibbon woman.
Yeah, hi. Hello, it's me.
So,
I'm at the most showbiz. Oh, I can't. I'm showbiz now. I mean, I've had enough.
Right, who are you?
Home.
Who famous are you looking at right now?
Oh God! Oh, I can't even tell you. It's too disgusting.
Start tripping names. Come on.
Right. Who can I see from here? Fat Boy Slim. I mean, how famous is he?
Not famous. He's not famous.
Of course he's famous, you goon.
Tell us somebody famous now.
No, I can't reveal it. It's too bad. Well, just I've just been in conversation with, and you might not be impressed by this, but I'm well impressed by it.
Go on.
You know the Fast Show?
I've never watched it.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't have, because it's too funny for you, because you watch Beavis and Farthead and that kind of nonsense. So if you're funny and you have a sense of humour, and you know what's funny, you watch the Fast Show, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've just been having a chat with Mark Williams and John Thompson, who are in the Fast Show. Oh, my God, I was just absolutely in awe of those people. They're so funny. They're really funny.
Right,
oh, here comes a celebrity now. It's like, Carol, hang on. Do you want to talk to a celebrity?
Who is it?
No, it's not really a celebrity. Well, he's kind of... No, it's not really. You don't want to talk to him. You want to talk to me, don't you? Me.
Well, I don't know. I'm having second thoughts.
Anyway, Mark Williams and John Thompson from the Fast Show.
Right, well, so far, you've mentioned 3 people who are totally not famous.
Yeah, well, I'm not the famous people, am I? Because I'm, like, very famous, and I don't know any of them, so I'm not going to go out and say, hi, to you. I know who you are, and I'm not famous either. I'm not going to do that, am I, you goon?
So what's the wedding like? Is it one of those cheap affairs where you have to pay for your own booze?
No way. great. Everything's free. This is like a top celebrity bash. We just had lobster for dinner. We had lobster and fresh champagne all night. And this is like a top two. You have no idea.
And where is it?
Absolutely. Babington House in the Somerset.
You are really cracking up. Where are you right now?
I just told you.
Yeah, but you are, it sounds like you're moving along in a car or something. We keep losing you all the time.
Well, I can't help it. Look, I'm in Somerset. I'm at Babington House, and I'm at a celebrity showbiz wedding. And I've got to tell you, I'm a little bit drunk.
No kidding.
Yeah, no, I'm a little bit pissed. Oh, drunk I'm in. And Mitch is just about to take a photo of me. Oh, okay, hang on. I've got to go, because I've got to take a photo of Mitch and Norman Cook and
well, a lot of other people no one's ever heard of, yeah. Okay, well, listen, next week.
Yeah.
Maybe, if we're lucky. Have you heard about the audience figures, by the way?
No,
Are we ready? Well, I won't bring you down while you're still so very high up. Oh, well, there it was. It doesn't get any than that. 0171 412 1152. It's LBC.
This is the Voice of London on 11:52 a.m. LBC News.
It's 9 o'clock. I'm Nick Qureshi.
LBC weather.
Now then, it's going to be another one tomorrow like it was today, which sounds pretty good to me. It might even be warmer. Down tonight to 50 Fahrenheit, 10 Celsius inside town. A little chillier than that outside. Tomorrow, it looks really good. Fine spell of weather. Dry, bright starts. Looks like lasting all day. A light easterly wind coming in. Sounds beautiful. 21 Celsius the high. That's 70 Fahrenheit.
It's Nick Abbot and Carol McGiffin. On LBC, the Voice of London, and Carol McGiffin, 0171 412 1152.
So I'm very disappointed that I was going to go out tonight, but I appear to be smelling, which is not something you want to inflict on anybody. And I'm thinking of suing the manufacturers of the underarm deodorant that I'm using, because my underarm vociferous whiff seems to be marching straight through it. How disappointing. Saturday night in watching TV, because I smell too much. What's going on here? Here's one in Buckhurst Hill. Where's that?
It's Essex. Glorious county of Essex.
Beautiful.
I thought you might say that. What a nightmare that call was from Carol.
Yes, the woman is a disgrace.
How long do you think it is before she does a moonie at that wedding?
Well, that may be what she was having a picture taken of.
I think it could be that, actually. Highly likely, I reckon. The other thing is, did you get the truth from her last week about her and Mitch?
I don't know. I think that was the person that was going to take the picture. I seem to kind of half recognize his voice there. She never leaves the house like an American Express card. She never leaves the house without him, which makes me wonder why he was there in the first place.
There's something going on there.
Definitely.
You don't sleep in the back of a Jeep for 2 nights in France without something going on.
And this Jeep is not a Jeep like like they had on MASH. It's not like one of those kind of Jeeps. It's a big, it's a colossal car, and in the back is like a small double bed, basically, is what the size of it is. And, no, there's definitely something disgusting going on in that relationship.
And, you know, following like a poodle to Guernsey?
Which one is the poodle?
It's got to be Carol, hasn't it? She's on for the free ride, isn't she?
Carol as a poodle. No, I have thought about it as a dog, but not necessarily a poodle, no.
Yes, well, I'm not sure I would have said it if she was on the line at the same time. But
well, no, me either.
I'm getting away with it this week, really.
Yeah, of course. I can say anything I like about that, that weaseling, backstabbing, money grabbing. Don't ever enter into any financial deal with Carol McGiffin, because she's going to back out of it. Can you believe that she had the nerve last week to renege on the bet that we made that was so clear-cut, it was incredible? She owed me £10. She was sitting here with a wallet stuffed full of almost £200 in cash, and she still wouldn't give me the £10 that she owed me. Damn her.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, she's incredible. I honestly say I've never known anybody like her.
No, and I'm I like her on the radio, but I'm not sure I'd like her in real life.
Yeah, as a person, no. She's an awful, awful woman. She is. She's a hideous human being. Anybody that, has half a brain can tell at the instant they meet her.
But she's got to be in one of these pictures, hasn't she? In one of the Sunday magazines where they show people in a sort of a pretty awful state after some kind of late-night do after this wedding.
I'd like to see her, in the back page of the ES magazine that they give away with the Standard on Friday, because they always have this section on parties at the back. And I don't know what it is. I mean, I've said this on the air before, but I don't know what it is about the people who organise these parties. They let the photographers in a little too late. I mean, what they should do is they should photograph people coming to the party, because you're not smashed out your mind on arrival. It's, after a couple of hours, the free booze starts to take hold, and your nose goes red, and your cheeks start to flush, and your eyes go glassy. And it seems that that's when the photographers march in and start taking pictures of famous people looking totally blottoed out of it.
But
it's like some performers on stage only allow for photographs of the first couple of numbers. And the reason for that is because when you start, when you're drenched with sweat and your face starts sagging, then you don't want promotional pictures taken. That's why footballers always look, much older than on the pitch than they do in clothes. It's because, on the pitch they're running around and the skin is hanging off their face like a Dulux dog.
Absolutely. Now, the other thing, Nick, is the tune. Don't you think it's like the last remains of a communist state in this country?
No, the tube in communist states, actually, it works and it's clean.
Well, maybe, but I can't work out why it's so bad. I mean, the trains, I'm not on about the trains so much. I mean, sometimes they run pretty well and you can get a regular service, which I think is a good thing, but customer service, forget it. It's
customer service?
Sorry?
What do you mean, customer service?
Well, there isn't any.
Well, what service do you require?
How about polite staff for a start?
What staff? I mean, you put your ticket in the machine, you go to the platform, you get on a train. When do you ever have to negotiate staff?
Well, here's an irony. They've installed, one of the stations I use, they've installed these new ticket gates, and a bloke sits now by the side of the ticket gate and watches you go through.
No.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's for safety reasons, because if there was some kind of problem, he'd have to flick a switch to open the gate so that you could all run out at once. Like, if there was like a build-up of people from the north on the platform, then all of those soft southern types would have to run screaming from the platform. Like happened at King's Cross today. The police had to come in because there was too many northern people around.
Yeah, a busy station maybe, but what I'm talking about is not that busy. And isn't the point of these things so that it frees stuff to do other things rather than just sit there and watch?
Well, what kind of a job must that be? I mean, that's got to be worse than overnight security, which is something that I've done. I was spending 12 hours locked in a box about twice the size of a telephone kiosk. With at the time, overnight TV didn't exist. This is how old I am. And so you just literally had this station to listen to all night. And I used to, no reflection on the station. Well, you can say what I like about it because it was like 15 years ago. None of the people that were there here then exist, and so on and so forth. But it was just a colossal nightmare because nothing ever happened, and that's the way you wanted it. You didn't want anything to happen because there's overnight security. If something happened, that's a bad thing. Suddenly you've been, you're called into action to protect something that you don't care anything about, and put your life on the line for some lorry or warehouse full of dry goods or something like that. So that must be the kind of mentally draining job that those poor blokes who have to sit in that booth and watch you put your ticket in the machine.
Absolutely, but,
and if your ticket doesn't work in the machine, which, happens every now and again, then they have to let you through, and that's what they do for a living.
Mind-numbing. Absolutely mind-numbing, I suppose. But you think with other places where they sort of say, we're trying to improve customer service, but it never seems to happen on the tube.
Yeah, because they've got nothing to do, you can't sit there and smile all day because they cart you away.
Well, maybe, but
you sound like you have like a specific instance in mind. Like, what do you want? Just people smiling at you, or was there some individual that got up your nose?
Well, I think you're getting to the heart of the matter. You were getting there, really. Yes, I mean, Holborn Tube Station, and the escalator that's working is the one that's going down, not the one that's going up.
Right. Okay. I've seen that before.
Panting up the stairs.
Mad. Yeah.
And there's also a passenger face down on the platform, I mean, I can't do first aid. There's no point in me touching him, so I'll go and report it. And I have to knock on this double door. This bloke stuck in the bowels of Holborn Tube Station comes to the door, doesn't say, thank you very much for letting me know, just sort of grunts and walks off. I assume he was going to check on a couple of those things, but anywhere else they would say, at least say thank you for pointing it out, but no, just a grunt.
Well, I was in Shepherd, this was also many years ago, I was crossing the road at Shepherd's Bush, and it's the only time I've ever seen a car accident. It wasn't a car hitting another car, it was a car hitting a person who flew through the air like a special effect, doing, like a triple salco, and ended in a pile in the gutter. I mean, this was like really serious business. And I run into the tube station and bang on the window and ask them to call for an ambulance. And they look at me like I've just dropped in from space and flat out refused to do it. And I'm banging on the window, which is like, completely pointless because it's bulletproof. If I'd had a gun, I probably would have tested that theory out. But and so I had to leave the tube station because I don't know why. You're telling me that they don't have a phone in there? Of course they do. But they wouldn't use it because it was for official business only or some unbelievable excuse. And so I had to come out and run 100 yards, 200 yards down the road to McDonald's. God bless them, they called for ambulance, which only took a half an hour to arrive. Exactly. But, a pox on, not all London Underground staff, but that bloke particularly, and the person who didn't smile at you.
Yeah, and just one more thing.
In closing,
because I knew you were going to say that, I've noticed that quite a few members of underground staff just about keep in the bounds of the no smoking rule on the stations which are sort of like, I don't know, part of a shopping centre or something.
What, 1 foot in, 1 foot out?
Yeah, and they just stand 1 foot out and have a smoke. But it's still in an underground station, one of the ones in the shopping centre, as I say.
You're too picky, Steve.
Well, I don't know, but you think...
You should relax a little more.
You think?
Have a drink.
Yeah, relax, go have a drink, have a smoke.
Run naked through your garden.
You think I haven't already?
Well, as soon as the pictures are developed, you let me know.
I will do.
0171 412 1152. It's LBC, it's Nick Abbot, not Carol McGiffin, who has disgraced herself on this show again. Here's one in East Grinstead. Hello.
Hello. Well, I'm astonished. I'm amazed. The envelopes. There was I went ready to go. He's talking a load of old. And there was an envelope sitting on the desk here. I thought, okay, here we go. Pulled it open, and yes, they do light up blue in the dark. I could not believe it.
Now, what kind of envelope? Is there a specific type?
Normal ones that you don't have to lick and you can just stick them down.
Right. And you have to open it along the line of the glue, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, some of them probably won't open along the glue, they'll rip, but...
and is it like sparks when you...
What it looks like is static. It does it only while you're pulling it apart. If you pull it apart quickly, it doesn't stay glowing afterwards.
Right.
But even so, I thought how could I have lived till the age of 26 and not known this?
Yeah, me either. I didn't know it. I'm almost twice as old as you are.
I'm gonna go and try the sugar thing later on, but but it kind of crossed my mind. What would you have had to have been doing to discover that?
Yeah, opening envelopes in darkened rooms.
Yeah.
That's a little bizarre, isn't it?
It kind of reminds me of, do you remember CB radios?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but if you get those fluorescent tubes, just like a normal 5 foot long, 6 foot long fluorescent tube, and you hold one end of it and put the other end on the CB aerial while somebody's pressing the talk button, you can light the whole tube up.
Man, you must have had a boring life.
That's the kind of sheltered childhood I've been in.
Good buddy.
Over.
And out.
That's basically what I've been hanging on the phone 40 minutes.
Tell us about your exciting adventures with envelopes.
I've learned nothing from your show other than that. That was...
Perfect. Yeah, it's like a science experiment, this program, ain't it? I am the new presenter of Blue Peter.
You're Johnny Ball.
Yes. Gotta go.
Yeah, bye.
0171 412 1152. Here is Romford. Hello.
Hello there, Nick.
Roy.
Good evening. Yeah, I found it very insulting about the council flat and drinking brown ale this evening.
Are you a lottery winner?
Sorry? No, I was a loser.
You're a loser, baby, so I'm
yes,
kill you.
Yeah, I was a loser. You know?
And which part did you find insulting?
Well, about a council flat, you know?
Yeah.
Even a council flat, which I do, you know?
Yeah.
I'm an MOT tester, etc., etc. But, like, I thought that was a bit near the mark.
What? Well, you had to remind us what I said.
You said to me that on the radio was that, like, the lottery numbers are losers. And then it was about the council flat drinking a brown ale, you know?
And which part of that is offensive?
Well, the losers and a council flat and a brown ale, I mean, we can't live in mansions, you know?
No, you didn't understand. You obviously were like only half listening and ready to complain about anything that you
No, I'm not complaining, I'm just asking.
It sounds like you're complaining.
No.
It was a whine about anything that you misunderstood. What I said was that people who win the lottery are usually people in council flats who are going to celebrate by buying a case of brown ale and tell the rest of us that it's not going to change their lives. Damn them. That's what I said.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was driving home, you know, like on my way home.
Now, have you MOT'd your car?
No, I don't MOT my own car. You know, I'm not allowed to do that. Ministry rules, you know?
Well, always follow the rules.
Oh, that's what I do, you know?
So you're enjoying a couple of bottles of brown ale as we speak?
No, not brown ale. No. Yeah. No, I thought it was very...
There's a bottle of Sancerre in the fridge for you.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What colour is it?
Sorry?
What colour is it?
Brown.
Brown?
Yeah.
My favourite colour of wine. Ah, the bouquet. 0171 412 1152 if you want to complain about something I didn't say. Here's one in Wakefield.
Hello, Nick.
Richard.
And hello, London. Apparently.
Well, what few are listening, yeah. You get more people listening in Scotland than you do in London.
Yeah, on that point, I just better plug the chat room on the internet, because they told me to phone, so hello, chat room.
There's more people on the internet listening to us on the worldwide wait and talking about this show amongst themselves than are actual ordinary human beings with ratings books listening to us in London.
Well, you know your website address, don't you? If you ever want to look up yourself.
www.nickabbott.com.
Exactly correct.
I haven't looked up myself for a good long while, as a matter of fact. Last time I did it, it was disgusting. Last time I did it, it was so disgusting it was banned by an internet cafe. But apparently now we're all decent, clean, honest and true.
There's so many sites you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, that is the bizarre thing about the numbers for this program, because when I was doing this at the previous place, then we started to get a few websites going, and I think that's that was the engine that started this whole thing. But they have multiplied since we started doing this, like 3 months ago or whatever it is.
Well, Wade's got his own website now.
Such that, I mean, I may or may not be right about this, but I think I've probably got more websites than anybody else in the history of British radio.
Yeah, I think that's correct, actually, yeah.
So, how does that marry with absolutely nobody listening to a show? Huh? I mean, what? These are two facts that don't sit well together. I mean, you'd think that if we got all this response on the internet, that there would actually be one or two people sitting at home listening to this program. But what you actually like to do more is talk about it.
It'd be too expensive for me just to move down to London just to listen to your show.
I suppose, yeah. I'm asking too much, aren't I?
The phone bill's not that far off, so it may end up being cheaper actually to move down to London.
Yeah, you're probably right. My phone bill, almost all of it, is the damned internet people. The internet in this country should be free, and it's only going to we're only going to get anywhere and actually use it to its fullest extent when it becomes free. You know, they're starting something. The other place that I work, they're starting something where you'll be able to listen to your radio station on a mobile phone anywhere in the world. Now, although that might not sound very exciting, what it means is that the mobile phone is connected to the computer or connected to a speaker or whatever it is. And if internet connection is free, because they've got these mobile phones that you're going to be able to connect to the internet with.
Oh yeah.
In fact, they've got them now already. And so eventually, if internet connection is free, you'll be able to listen to, let's say this station in America or China or Russia or wherever you might be in super solar wave stereo. Similarly, you'll be able, in this country, you'll be able to listen to any American station you choose, which is fantastic because it will bypass all of the rules and regulations of the radio authority, and it will bypass all the rules and regulations that govern radio in this country, which is exactly what the internet is doing with publishing. It's kind of bypassing all the censorship laws, and you can't say this, and you can't say that, and you can't show this picture, and you can't do this, that, and the other. It's going to bypass, because every country has their own stupid laws, and some are stupider than others. You go to Saudi Arabia, for instance, and you can't do anything. And so if people have internet connection in Saudi Arabia, then they can, have freedom of speech and freedom of access to information that we do in the free West. And similarly, once this technology is available to hear radio stations all over the world, then you'll be able to pick up anything you like. Howard Stern will be available in this country. You can listen to a man doing bestiality dial-a-date on the breakfast show.
I can't wait for that. Anyway, I've called to phone about the A-level results.
Okay.
This week. Well, now, I got mine on Thursday.
And how did you do?
Well, if I said that they keep saying the A-levels are easier, does that make me really thick? I got a D for business studies, an E for geography, and another E for psychology.
Man, are you stupid. Now, are you stupid, or did you just not try?
Probably a bit of both. But the good news is, I've got into a course on my local college to study media.
You did?
For the next 2 years.
And what are you going to do with that?
Go do a degree in media probably at the end of it, unless someone offers me a job somewhere.
Right, so in other words, you're only doing it so as to avoid getting work.
Oh, I've tried getting work, but it's very tough. You've got no experience and no qualification.
Well, I don't know. What are you trying to get work doing?
Anything, really.
Anything? No, wait, back up. You've tried to get work at anything, and you find that impossible.
Well, I was offered one job working overnights in a taxi place for £3 an hour. And I thought, well, surely I've got some ability somewhere which would be better.
Well, I don't know. Let's recap your exam results. It was a D, an E, and what was the other thing?
Another E.
And another E.
Fantastic.
Well, I guess the answer to that question is no. Or maybe it's that you just haven't had the happy coincidence of studying a subject that you're any good at. And media just might be it. You never know. Although you will be competing with every other person under the age of 25 in this country who also has a degree in media studies.
And who thinks they can be the next Nick Abbott.
You don't need any qualifications. Trust me, you need no qualifications at all to do this job. Just need to be able to open your mouth and speak. And if you're waiting to get into this business, then I really don't think that a degree in media studies is going to do it. I would... what do you want to do?
Well...
Oh, blimey, I'm like a guidance counsellor now.
The answer to that question is radio.
Radio, okay, well then what you need to do... Where are you? Wakefield, where's that?
Up in Yorkshire.
All right, well, you need to leave Yorkshire, or... I mean, I guess there's radio stations in Yorkshire now. They have...
new local stations.
Of course, they've got electricity and everything up there now.
Yeah,
you want to...
Just in the last few weeks.
Call up your local radio station and say that you want to do work experience. And you go along there for a couple of weeks or a month or whatever it is, and you ingratiate yourself with everybody in there. You are the most super nice people, a person that they've ever met. You're making tea, and you're smiling all the time, and you can't do enough for them. You're waiting in afterwards to do taping, and you're keen to learn the desk and all of that jazz, and you're not getting paid, which is the part that they like the best. And then you make it such that they like you to have you around, and then eventually they can't do without you, and you'll be running the show and having your own breakfast program. That's how you get into this business, is you do work experience, and that's how this business survives, because there's a never-ending production line of kids who are desperate to get in, who will come and work for nothing. And you might find yourself, stealing envelopes for a week or whatever. But just get in there. Doing a degree in media studies, I would advise you to do a degree, but not in order to increase your chances of getting a job in radio. Do a degree because it's fun. It's great. You take a couple of years out, 3, 4, whatever it is, and you'll have a fantastic time. Everybody should do it. But don't think that it's going to increase your chance of getting into business, because doing the business gets you into the business, you know what I mean?
Or call them and tell them you sent me there.
Tell them that Nick sent you. Tell them that Nick Abbott suggested you go there, and they'll probably call the police. Thanks a lot. My name in this business is, it's that popular. Here's one in... Oh, we got to take a break now? Yes, we do. Oops.
Sorry about this, London.
0171 412 1152. Saturday nights with Abbot and McGiffin.
I can't help it. I can't stop listening.
Well, I have to say, it's almost 9:30 now, and which means that I've done 3.5 hours, and it was a breeze. You people are beautiful. I love you, each and every one of you, specifically and individually. After the programme, if you leave your names and addresses, I'm going to come over and pleasure you in any way that you choose. Because this could have been a nightmare. And, because when I'm sitting here with Carol, it's easy. It's actually the easiest job in the world. That we get paid anything for it is ludicrous. Because we just come in here and catch up. If you put a microphone outside of the pub on the Haverstock Hill, we could do the show from there, without callers. Easy. But when I'm here on my own and they've got 4 hours ahead of you, I mean, think of this at home. Suddenly, at precisely 6 o'clock, the red light goes on and you have to speak for 4 hours without pausing, regardless of whether anybody calls. So if nobody had called, I would be having to either get up and leave, and thus would be instantly the end of my career, or I'd have to talk off the top of my head for 4 hours. And you people have excelled yourselves. Here's one in Stevenage. Hello.
Hello, Nick.
How you doing?
I've been sitting here on my bed since 6 o'clock as your emergency reserve, and you've not needed me at all.
Thank God for you anyway.
Done amazing. But I've been here. I thought I'd say hello anyway. I had a list of topics enough to cover 4 hours, just in case. Hey, I've got a whole page here. Oh, where shall we start? Anyway, I'm getting sick of hearing because, I'm living Stevenage, so I can just catch LBC, but I haven't got a computer, I'm not on the net. Whenever you're talking, it's either in the background, because I have other stations, they click in about 8 o'clock. It's either it's in the backing music, whatever you, Carol, are saying, it's either YMCA or Curtis Stigers. I don't know what the station is, but it's always YMCA at the most appropriate moment.
How bizarre.
It's scary. Glad you like Star Wars. I haven't even seen it yet.
I'm amazed that I like Star Wars, because as I said, I went in thinking that I was going to hate it. So kind of the same thing I did when I went into the Abbot show, because I went on the, I got a free invite to the, what's it called, Mamma Mia?
Or, I don't know, what was it?
No, it's a musical of ABBA numbers called Mamma Mia. And I got a free invite, and I went along, and I thought, well, because it's free, you don't care. I thought I'll leave halfway through. That was what I genuinely thought. I'll leave halfway through, because I'm not that big a fan of ABBA. But it's free, and I don't get to go out much, so I'll go out. And it was great. In fact, it was the only thing I've ever seen that got a full house standing ovation. Because often the stalls will stand and the circle will be set down, but then everybody was on their feet. But I've never seen that before. And it was tremendous fun. Ditto Star Wars. I'm going again tomorrow.
Where did you sit? Where's the best place to sit?
You've got to sit in the biggest screen possible.
I've only got a local multiplex.
Well, then you have to leave.
Go to London to see it.
You've got to come to London. Apparently it's...
Swing, because I wouldn't know where to go. Where do I go?
You've got to go to Leicester Square.
Yeah, which one?
Well, it's only in one cinema.
Is there only one there?
You walk into Leicester Square, you will see it. Trust me. And it's going to be there for another month or so.
I think I'm going to have to stick. I've never been to a decent square cinema apart from your standard.
Okay, bring all of the money you've got.
Well, I've got minus £8,000 of debt right now.
Well, it'll be another 8,000. I think that's about the price of the cheapest seats. £8,000.
Anyway, that woman who called us earlier about older women and younger guys. God, I would love an older woman. Of about 40, as long as she's, got...
Well, now let's establish where we're coming from here, so to speak. How old are you?
I'm 26.
26, and you found that the women of your age are, what, inexperienced?
I just...
Whiny, boring?
I can't stand them, it's just so, they don't grow up till they're about 30, and then, they've got no money anyway. They're still afraid of what their mums or dads are going to say about, they haven't got their own homes, no cars, no money, and, a student wants children. But, in my customers, I've done all day at the supermarket today. All my customers are rich women, some of them are single, and they make that quite clear to me.
Right, and you're sitting there at the checkout with your tongue hanging out.
Checkout, and we're flirting with each other, and it's like, oh yeah,
the saliva is dripping from your mouth, and you're moistening their vegetables.
Well, it was today. It was just some lady in a green dress. Very nice. And it's like, what she was wearing a green see-through dress. It's like, oh, please.
A see-through dress to go shopping for food?
Yeah, she was leaning over in the correct...
Well, listen, how much more, come on, do you need?
I don't know. I was waiting for her to give me her telephone number, but damn it, she didn't.
Well, you're the man here. You're supposed to, at least do something.
I can't start... I can't,
Well, I guess it would be,
my job would go, and that's not good.
I suppose so.
Anyway, one other thing. What do you think? Because, I mean, I think it's insane to have these laws on, like, you can have sex at 16, you can't vote until you're 18, and you've got the 15-year-old girl and the 30-year-old, teacher or whatever. What do you think? Because I think, well, just leave them alone. If she's happy, then what the hell?
Of course.
It's crazy.
Yeah, of course leave them alone. It's like the same with anything. If nobody's getting hurt, then what difference does it make? If everybody's doing just what they want to do and nobody's being cajoled or, drugged into doing it or doing anything against their will, and they're of an age when they can, make their minds up about that kind of thing. Well, 15 is way old enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, 12.
Then,
13.
Well, if you go to Spain, or
12 is age of consent for sex in Spain is 12.
It's 12. That's right. So how come the Spanish are
much lower pregnancy and rate than we do?
Well, that's true. But how come they also considered to be more mature than we are? Well, and you can drink earlier, and you can see pornography, and you can. All of these things that we're... I think it's that...
on LBC...
Wait a minute. I think it's that the people who are running this country think that we're morons. We're idiots. We can't lead our own lives, so we must be constantly told by this mother figure what we can and cannot do.
I've been listening to the callers, and a lot of talk show whatever you want to call them, have been asking the callers, and when they really press them, why can't we be like Spain, for instance, when they started this, is that the callers actually say, because it's the culture, and the talk guy, whatever, whether it's Didi or whatever, would say, why is this for me? And the callers literally say, well, because we're not quite as grown up like as the Spanish guys.
Yeah, don't you find that offensive?
Well, I just think,
it's ludicrous. It's the reason that they're giving is because that, and that's the end of the sentence. It's just, well, that's the way it's always been. So like we stop drinking at 11 o'clock because we have to go to bed to get up, work, and get on work the next day. Unlike, well, I won't name the countries because it's quicker to name the countries where you can't. Unlike every other civilized country on the face of the planet. Yeah, like I keep saying, you have to go to Saudi Arabia to get stupider laws than we got in this country. And then the thinking is because we're incapable of making up our minds and leading our lives ourselves, which I just find is really offensive.
Yeah, I just think it's insulting. One final thing, Nick, everybody's got the internet. You've got thousands of devout followers on the net. Everybody loves Carol and you together. Why don't you have your own internet station?
Well, that's part of what I think is coming, because if you can pick up in a few years.
Anyway, I'd like to run my own station because I think it's good fun. You could have your own station, and it's easy, especially with the emails.
Well, hold your breath, because I think you're young enough to see it happen. Because what we've got now are the internet has provided people with the ability to start their own newspapers. It's completely bypassed the whole publishing industry, which is one of the reasons that newspapers are so freaked out about the internet. You can start your own publication for nothing at all. It's just some bloke tapping away. In fact, there was some guy who was invalided off a film set, took the money, and at home, he's like a guy in dirty jeans who lives with his parents, and he started a website about movies, and he was giving his opinion on the latest movies. He gets millions of hits on his site now, such that he's become so powerful that movies now quote his reviews on their posters in America. He's become, from nowhere, one of the most influential movie critics in the business. And that is what the internet is allowing people to do. It's completely bypass all the rigmarole that you used to have to go to get what you want to say to people. It's just cut all of the middle people out, and that's freaking them out. And what has happened with newspapers and satirical magazines, there's a site called The Onion, www.theonion.com, which is kind of like an American private eye. Very funny. It came up out of nowhere. I can read it in this country. I don't have to get it imported for £4.50 from America. He doesn't have to get it published. He doesn't have to, spend hundreds of thousands of pounds, and he doesn't have to take it to a publishing house and get it agreed in this and that. He just taps it on his computer, and I can read it in an hour. And so the same will happen, I'm sure it will, with radio stations. Radio in this country and in all countries now is being concentrated in the hands of very few people. Something like 5 companies that owns like 90% of the radio stations in this country, which is kind of the same way as newspapers and all other media. It's concentrated in the hands of just a few people. And I think the key thing that the internet is going to do is put the power back into the hands of the people. And so you will, I'm sure of it, see radio stations that you won't be able to pick up perhaps on your radio, but with free internet connection and better sound cards and all that stuff, the sound will be coming out in CD quality. They've already got that technology, no problem. And you'll be able to pick it up anywhere in the world. And it could just be me and Carol sitting and taking a microphone to the pub. We could just have and it could be a radio station that just happens to be on for 4 hours a week. We could just make a date at the pub, take a microphone, and, the whole world can tune in or not as they wish. I think it's coming, definitely. It's very exciting stuff around the corner. I just hope that I'm not too old to see it when it gets here. It's 0171 412 1152.
Saturday nights with Abbot and McGiffin. I wanted a nice Saturday evening.
And the result of the Nick Abbot, Carol McGiffin fight is the draw. Back by here, sucker. Hello.
Nick Abbot and Carol McGiffin. 0171 412 1152. The Voice of London.
So it's Nick Abbot, not Carol McGiffin. She has come in, disgraced herself, and left. Here's one in Barking. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Christine.
Hi. You're not going to like this, really, but it's just that I bought one of the women's journals that sold out, and I bought it really just because of hearing Carol and wanting to read what she wrote.
And how was it?
It was okay. It was good.
Now, if she was sitting here, would you have said, "Oh, it was really great"?
Probably.
But it was just okay. Did you laugh out loud?
Good, pardon. Oh, sorry.
Did you laugh out loud?
I don't think so.
What did you write about? I haven't seen it.
It was about weddings.
About weddings?
About weddings, yes, because she's going to this wedding today, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And she's written about where she's been to weddings before, and she mentioned briefly her own, but she didn't mention who it was to. I only heard about that last week.
And she, what's the rest of the magazine like? What is it?
I haven't really read the rest of the magazine.
When you're flipping through,
ages ago, but I haven't bought it for a long, long time.
But when you're flipping through what kind of a person do you get? What image of a reader do you get as you flip through the magazine?
I suppose it would be to someone I don't know, sort of 20s, 30s, working, whatever. I don't work anymore.
Really? Because I thought Woman's Journal, because I don't know anything about it at all, but just the name, I thought would be aimed at a much older audience.
No, I don't think it is. No, it's not as old as it sounds. It does sound older.
But it's younged itself up a bit.
Yeah, I think so.
Huh. Okay, well, I'll have to... undoubtedly, she's got copies. I think there's also copies of what she's written on one of the internet sites, which can be got under... There's one URL, which is what they call it. You tuned up to the web?
Not really, no. I haven't got enough megabytes to increase our RAM. I don't know much about these things.
I'll send you some megabytes in the post, okay? Watch them at your door.
And another thing, I listen to LBC, other stations. You say that nobody who listens to it normally gets tuned into you, but I just came across you, and I really enjoy it every Saturday. I listen during the day as well.
Okay, good for you.
Thank you.
Ta-ra.
Bye.
0171 412 1152. Here is Lester. Lester,
Hi, Nick.
how are you doing?
Hey, not so bad. How's yourself?
Okay.
I wanted to say happy birthday.
Are you a net nerd?
Yeah. I don't know whether you remember. I'm the guy that doesn't get to hear the show till a few weeks later. I ran quite a while ago.
Why do you not get to hear it till a few weeks later?
Oh, the stream or whatever it is, it's just guff. It doesn't work.
I thought that somebody was putting up all of these shows on the net. You could just pull them down at will.
Yeah, they do, but the last one was like end of July.
Oh, really?
So I've heard that one. I'm hearing you live now.
Perfect.
Yeah, I was wondering if you'd buy me a car for your birthday.
A car, of course. What colour would you like?
Oh, any. I'm not fussy.
Any colour at all.
Fine, yeah.
Puce?
Yeah, fine.
Would you look good in puce?
Can always get a respray.
No, I thought it was supposed to be the other way around. Aren't you supposed to buy me something? Damn it.
Yeah, but I'm skinned.
Well, then let's just exchange pleasantries. How's that?
Oh, okay then, if you're going to be like that.
Say hello and goodbye.
Oh, I was actually going to phone you last week to recommend a film you should watch, but it's like gone now.
Well, what is it?
Mole Rats. Or Mole Rats.
Mole Rats?
Yeah, have you seen it?
The thing that was on TV?
Yeah, BBC2.
Oh, you were going to recommend that?
Didn't like it.
It sucked.
It was great.
Awful film.
Oh, what's happening to your taste?
It was, it's another one of these films that's aimed at American kids, because it's just got American kids in it.
Oh.
And Mole Rats implies exactly what it was. It was just a bunch of kids wandering around an American shopping mall.
Well, I was going to recommend the original as well now.
I would rather have watched a video of them building the shopping mall.
I'm so disappointed in you there. I don't know. I thought you would have loved it. Definitely your kind of thing, I thought.
Well, your name's Richard. Do you mind if I call you Dick? Think about it. 0171 412 1152 as we start to speed up because we're running out of time. Here's one in Rickmansworth. Hello.
Oh, hello, Nick.
Maureen.
I'd like to help boost your listening audience.
I need all the help I can get.
I've got about 37 radios myself scattered around the house, and I've never missed any of your shows. I think you're quite wrong when you say that you have a small listening audience.
Well, according to the figures, I have a small listening audience.
I think they're totally wrong. I actually subscribe to this radio listeners guide. It's an annual book that's issued. It gives all sorts of information, how to, where the transmitters are. And there's a couple of bits of information. I thought, firstly, the young man who wanted to get into media studies, they give a very good book they recommend. Would you like me to give you the details for him?
Is it How to Be a DJ by Roscoe?
No.
Because I got that one.
Was it any good?
No, not really. It says, I think the only way to do it is just to do it.
Yes, but it's How to Get Into Radio. It's published by the How To Books of Plymouth. I could give him the number if he wanted.
Oh, he'll go and look it up in a library.
You think
okay.
so?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the other thing is, it does give the information about. Is it Radar?
Yeah.
It does give their phone number.
You want to ring up and complain?
If we wrote to or telephone them, would they accept would they give us a diary?
A phone-in vote? I don't think that's the way it works, no.
No.
Because otherwise it would be too easy to rig.
Well, how can they be so wrong? I know loads of people that listen to you. In fact, 6 o'clock on Saturday, we don't do anything else, and I'm not sad. I've got other things to do.
Well, unfortunately, the people that listen to us don't have, first of all, they don't have a radar, and second of all, they don't live in London, so they're just, they're not going to show up.
Well, it doesnn't give a true figure, does it?
Well, you can't lie with statistics.
You can't.
Well, actually, you can.
That's what I've heard.
But that's what the radio people say. You can't lie. It's like, that's the fact, Jack. I'm a failure. Why don't I just face it?
Well, I think it's a shame.
Well, listen, thanks a lot, Maureen.
Okay, thank
Bye-bye. What a nice lady. Here's one in Clapham. Hello.
All right, Nick. Steve here.
Hello, Steve.
I tried to help you out last week.
You
I don't
did?
really know. Did she give you the money?
No.
And how did you get home then?
Well, she delivered me almost all the way home.
Right, she never gave you the money?
No, the rat bag welched on our bet.
I'm going off her.
Totally.
She's on her bet.
I was actually stunned by that. So
Why
to
didn't
be
you go
honest,
to the pub with her mates then? Don't you like them?
I don't know him. Listen, I had to talk to her for 4 hours continuously. You think that I'm going to do it in my spare time?
So what's the end situation of this money then?
Well, she's flat out refused to pay me the money that she owes me on the bet, because we bet that Lisa Tarbuck would not get the job on the Channel 4 breakfast. I bet her £10 that she would. And turns out she did, and then she turned around and said that she wasn't going to pay me the £10, and like, I'm stunned by that news.
And a lot of people were quite upset about that, Nick, I think, really, weren't they? They were really giving her a hard time, but she wouldn't give way, would she? Typical woman, I thought.
Well, really? Because I've never come across anybody, because it wasn't like it was £100, it was 10.
No, but we could have had her for 100, mate.
Why?
Sat by that, I've got it on tape. And went down to a tenner, you let that go.
Well, no, I would only have taken the tenner because that's what I bet her. Like, her saying something after that. I mean, if I had lost, I wouldn't have paid 100. I would have paid her the 10 had I lost. Of course I would, because that's a bet. How can you not?
Next week, I think we should pick her up on this and quite a few other things, because I think tonight's show has been really good. And can you just listen to this a minute, Nick? Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Squash, tomatoes and stew.
You're speeding up.
The whole thing. Have a good day tomorrow, Nick.
Ta-ra. 01714121152. I think that I have a suggestion with this whole thing with Carol McGiffin. That, in fact, what I'm going to do is ask a Woman's Journal to send her to Las Vegas next time. I'd like to see her Welsh on a bet in Las Vegas. She'd be driven out in the middle of the desert in the boot of a car. I'd pay a lot of money to see it. Here's one in Belfast.
All right, Nick, how's it going?
All right.
Happy birthday for tomorrow, by the way.
Thanks a lot, mate.
Next year's the big one, then.
I know.
That's good. You should do that show on the air next year. That'll be good.
Well, yeah.
You sound enthusiastic. You're going to have some good news.
Go on.
Do you have the Bravo channel?
No, I don't, thanks, have the Bravo channel, because I do on digital, and they don't have either the Paramount Comedy channel or, damn it, the Bravo channel.
Well, in that case, I have some bad news.
What?
Beavis and Butthead, they're starting to rerun it from the 30th of August.
You're kidding me.
No, from its entirety. I think it's going to be on every night, possibly, or, whatever. I mean, that's what they do with Howard Stern. It's on every week now, which is brilliant. The Howard Stern show's got great lately, but yeah, I can't wait to see the whole run of Beavis and Butthead again.
Because when On Digital finally got MTV, thank God they did that, because you want to kill yourself watching the British version, which is called UK Play.
Yeah.
Absolutely interminable.
Oh yeah, I have that because it got bet on jazz and stuff.
Every single video is Oasis on that channel. It's just interminable. Either that or there's somebody on UK Play, either that or there's somebody you've never heard of who's trying to be funny, endlessly.
Well, I've been wanting to get the bet on jazz channel for ages, because I like a bit of sort of, relaxed tunage, and I got it, and then it doesn't start till 3 in the morning, because these guys are just, drinking whiskey until then or something.
Which channel?
Bet on Jazz, it's called.
Never heard of it.
It's brilliant. You get it with, the music package if you're on cable, along with MTV, which really isn't.
I've got to, the on-digital people hate me for saying it, but I just got to switch, because they're not giving me what I want. Although almost everything that I watch is on Sky.
Forget about Paramount, because it's just not worth it anymore. It's just gone way down.
I thought it was endless,
no. You still got
American sitcoms.
For every night, Cheers might still be on.
Yeah,
but they dumped David Letterman.
Well, David Letterman doesn't work over here because it's just too American.
I don't think so. I think...
Well, no, of course, people like you and me would like to watch it, but we're not... it's like the people listening to this show. They don't do it in big enough numbers.
Well, because it did take about a week or two to get into it,
I'm in the same boat as David Letterman. In this country, both of our audiences suck. It's just that he earns $14 million a year more than I do.
Well, you got me into him. The thing about David Letterman is he's just like the coolest bloke on TV, and there isn't enough cool people on TV.
No, you're right.
You look at any of the chat show hosts we have over here, and they're all geeks. You wouldn't want to sort of be associated with, but David Letterman is just absolutely hilarious. Funnier than any of his guests. Just very sardonic and just hilarious,
I prefer it when he goes off script.
Yeah, but apparently he doesn't do that. That is so much since he moved to, is it NBC?
I don't know where he is now. But anyway, he's been there for a good long while. But no, he'll come out and do the monologue at the beginning, which, is like stands or falls on how it's written. But when he's, making it up off the top of his head, he's one of the funniest blokes I've ever seen.
But apparently one of the funniest things he used to do was when he made mistakes, he would make them even funnier.
Well, that's the thing. If he tells a joke and it bombs, what he does, and he does it better than anybody I've ever seen, is he'll tell the same joke again, and then it's funny. And hearing a good joke twice makes it not funny the second time. How he can tell a bad joke twice and make it funnier than it was the first is beyond me, but that's what he does. But listen, we're running right out of time because we've got all these people to... where are my bad credit people? What does that mean? From the word from next door on the
Can I tell you about one of the funniest headlines I've ever seen on one of the newspapers yesterday? One of the funniest that just struck me as just unbelievably hilarious. It was a girl died from eating her hair.
Well, see, now that's not funny, because I read that story, and it was...
But the thing is, right, she was a hairdresser, and so they had to do tests on her to make sure whether it was her hair or not. And it just reminded me of the Spinal Tap drummer who took someone else's vomit.
You are a very bad man. Have I mentioned that? Because that's not funny. I read that story.
I'm not making fun of her.
It was a horrible, horrible story.
Yeah, but, that's the media in this country. I mean, look at Paula Yates. I find that disgusting that the only thing she could find to say about her Ted Lover was how good he was in the sack. I mean, that's it. That's.
I met him once. Well, didn't meet him exactly, but I was in the same place as him once. He was very small. You expect famous people, always expect famous people to be really tall, but he was tiny. I could have taken him easily.
And one more thing. I've been getting heavily addicted to Neil Rogers again the last few weeks because I stopped monitoring for him for a while, but I've been back in him this week, and the guy is just a genius. He
is the best radio host I've ever heard. He does a 4-hour talk show every day. People haven't heard me go on about him before. He's the reason that I'm doing this talk show now, essentially, and you can hear his show. He does...
NeilRogers.com. If you go to, there's a whole archive there.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
No, it's WQAN.
Yeah, but that's the best way is to go to NeilRogers.com, and then you can download some of the sound drops and stuff as well.
Man, what you don't know about the pewter world, you could write...
I'm actually going to do a wee website for him to put some of the best stuff I have.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, because I've got loads of tapes of them now. I got in last night at 4:30 in the morning and I started listening to the Friday show. And by the time it got to 6:30, and then he was saying that he was being flown out to somewhere to commentate in a football game this morning at 11. So it was 6:30 by the time I heard that. So I tuned in to WQAM, streaming it off the net live, and I just missed it. So I could have got to hear it. I would have loved to hear, him commentating on football.
That's what he used to do. Listen, in closing, what's our website address again?
www.nickabbott.com.
Thanks a lot, mate. The funniest headline I ever saw was Thatcher's plan to save the world. What happened to that?
This is the Voice of London on 11:52 a.m. LBC News.
It's 10 o'clock.